Credit Union, providing value through service. And Hyundai, modern premium affordable vehicles.
Ready to tackle that building project? Start right. Start here at H&L Rapid True Value for building supplies. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
Nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
News at 5 teasers are brought to you by Advanced Scales and Equipment. Service is our total commitment.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Robian Williams.
And I'm Mahiri Stewart.
In Nationwide News at this hour, former mayor of Port Maria, Richard Crary, wins multi-million-dollar defamation lawsuit against the Jamaica Gleaner newspaper.
Retired Supreme Court Judge Carol Lawrence Beswick is confirmed as new chairman of the Integrity Commission.
And a former governor of the BOJ, Brian Winter, is also appointed a commissioner of the IC.
PSOJ calls on government to remain focused on reducing the country's debt amid Fitch's BB- credit rating.
DPP warns that intense public discourse about the Usain Bolt SSL matter could harm the case now before the court.
In news from the rest of the world, Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley will resign on March 16.
Measles outbreak in the U.S. claims 2 lives.
And in headline sports, Cavaliers says they have no plan B as they prepare to host Lionel Messi and his team in the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Later in our broadcast, in our cover story at 5:35, DPP Paula Llewellyn is warning that public comments and allegations about the multi-billion-dollar SSL fraud may undermine the case against the accused Jeanan Panton. Ms. Llewellyn will join us.
In Public Opinion at 6:26, we ask, should the political parties tone down their rhetoric about the SSL fraud saga? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio, and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
At 7, Rio Hotels and Resorts has partnered with the Montego Bay Marine Park Trust to educate the public about the dwindling population of the parrotfish and how it affects the country. We'll have a nationwide docu-feature, Rio Saving Our Environment.
And at 8, it's Boyatings After Dark with Kareem Boyatings Weathers.
All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90 FM, nationwideradiojm.com, and on the Nationwide app, available on Google Play and the App Store. This Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday, February 26, 2025.
News at 5 teasers were brought to you by Advanced Scales and Equipment. Service is our total commitment.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. A Deputy General Secretary of the governing Jamaica Labour Party, Richard Crary, has won a multi-million-dollar defamation lawsuit against the Jamaica Gleaner Company. The matter concerns a story published by the newspaper, which was based on erroneous information published in a report by the Integrity Commission. That report concerned the controversy, which engulfed the state-owned oil refinery Petrojam in March 2018. Robian Williams reports.
In a judgment handed down today, Supreme Court Judge Sonia Wint Blair ordered the Gleaner to pay $10 million to Richard Crary for defaming him. The Gleaner has also been ordered to pay Crary's legal fees. Crary was the mayor of Port Maria at the time the Gleaner published its story. Justice Wint Blair also granted an injunction to restrain the Gleaner and/or its agents from publishing or causing to be published the name of Richard Crary in a July 1, 2020 article and related articles which had the headline Web of Corruption. The article had the sub-headline, Key Enablers. Artwork which contained Crary's image also accompanied the story. The JLP Deputy General Secretary sued the Gleaner over the publication of the article. The article quoted the Integrity Commission, which erroneously named Richard Crary as part of a panel which had interviewed Floyd Grinley for the post of executive director of Petrojam. The article also quoted an erroneous statement by the Integrity Commission that Crary was part of a panel which recruited Yolande Ramharak for the post of human resource manager at Petrojam. Crary's lawyers argued that while other media entities took reasonable steps to publicize the Integrity Commission's admission of its error, the Gleaner did not. The court ruled that the Gleaner, by virtue of the headline of the article and some of its contents, defamed Crary and caused him unwarranted distress and embarrassment. The court said the Gleaner should be held culpable for failing to apologize to Crary and failing to seek comment from him prior to the publication of erroneous aspects of the Integrity Commission's report. According to the Supreme Court, the Gleaner also failed to give equal prominence to its publication of an apology which the Integrity Commission had made to Crary compared to the treatment it gave to the offending article. The Supreme Court heard testimony from senior reporter at the Gleaner, Jovan Johnson. Johnson indicated that he did not contact Crary because he had a short time to read the 700-page report and then write the story. The court ruled that he failed to do enough to protect the Gleaner from defaming Richard Crary. The court documents quote Johnson as testifying that he also did not contact Crary because he was reporting from an authoritative source, that is, the Integrity Commission. But Justice Wint Blair rejected that argument. In referring to the Gleaner, Justice Wint Blair wrote, quote, "The defendant used words which were defamatory and in so doing fell short of the standard expected of responsible journalism." End quote. Justice Wint Blair said, having learnt of the Integrity Commission's error, the Gleaner did not give the Integrity Commission's correction equal prominence. She said the newspaper did not contact Crary, neither did it publish a balanced report. The judge also noted that while the Integrity Commission apologized to Crary, the Gleaner did not. The court also noted that during cross-examination, Johnson denied a suggestion by Crary's attorney that he and the Gleaner are biased against the governing Jamaica Labour Party. Mr. Crary was represented by attorney Robert Colley. Kevin Powell and Anne Wheatle from the law firm Hilton and Powell represented the Gleaner. Robeanne Williams for Nationwide News.
The country's Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP Paula Llewellyn, has expressed concern that the pre-trial publicity surrounding the multi-million-dollar fraud at Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, could undermine the fairness of the impending trial. This as the country's two major political parties have been engaged in a public spat over which administration is to be blamed for failing to protect investors from several issues at the firm dating back to over a decade. More in this report from Shalois Michael.
Both the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party have been at loggerheads over culpability for the debacle at the fraud-hit brokerage firm. According to the JLP, the opposition must be blamed for failing to warn potential investors when fraud was rampant at SSL between 2012 and 2013. The PNP's former president, Dr. Peter Phillips, was the finance minister in 2012. But according to the PNP, a directive was issued requiring SSL to suspend critical activities due to breaches of the Securities Act. The party says those restrictions were lifted by the JLP in 2017. The war of words have continued on several political platforms, with both the parties refusing to accept the responsibility of causing more than 40 clients to lose their savings after the fraud was uncovered at the entity in January 2023. One of those clients is sprint legend Usain Bolt. He was fleeced almost $2 billion. Bolt has since become vocal on the matter, seemingly casting blame on the government for not doing enough to recover his money. Former wealth advisor at SSL, Jeanan Panton, is the only person on trial for the fraud. But according to DPP Llewellyn, the case is on the verge of being compromised. In a release on Wednesday, the DPP says the public discourse could undermine the fairness of the impending trial. She says that concern has also been shared by attorney-at-law John Clark. Clark is one of the lawyers representing Ms. Panton. DPP Llewellyn further noted that the case against Ms. Panton has not yet been completed and remains under active consideration by the court. The DPP says while she acknowledges the right of citizens to express themselves freely, in the court of law, fairness to the accused is a critical principle of law and practice which the court guards jealously. She is also reminding the public that the accused remains innocent until proven otherwise. DPP Llewellyn is urging members of the public to be judicious with their comments about the matter. Panton is set to return to court on March 20. Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Governor General Sir Patrick Allen has named former Supreme Court Judge Carol Lawrence Beswick chairman of the Integrity Commission. Former Governor of the Bank of Jamaica Brian Winter has also been appointed to the commission. King's House made the announcement on Wednesday. Mahiri Stewart reports.
The appointments of the new commissioners are effective today, February 26. They follow the departure of former chairman, retired Justice Seymour Panton, and Mr. Eric Crawford, whose 7-year contracts have ended. Justice Lawrence Beswick served as a senior puisne judge in the Supreme Court until her retirement in December 2022. She holds an LLB from the University of the West Indies and has significant legal experience, including roles as Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions and Acting Judge of the Court of Appeal. She was appointed Chairperson of the Road Traffic Appeal Tribunal in 2024. Mr. Winter, meanwhile, served as the Governor of the Bank of Jamaica from 2009 to 2019. He's a recognized financial expert with a substantial background in monetary policy and financial regulation. King's House says their appointments support the Commission's ongoing efforts to maintain and strengthen integrity in Jamaica's public sector. The Integrity Commission was established by the Integrity Commission Act in 2017 and became operational in 2018. Its establishment merged the operations of the former Office of the Contractor General, the former Commission for the Prevention of Corruption, and the former Parliamentary Integrity Commission. The other members of the commission are Pamela Monroe Ellis, retired Justice Lloyd Hibbert, and Wayne Powell. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, some public commentators have reflected on the tenure of retired Justice Seymour Panton as chairman of the Integrity Commission. Justice Panton was appointed a commissioner in 2018 following the establishment of the Integrity Commission Act. He was elevated to the chairmanship a year later in September 2019. But his leadership has been met with both praise and criticism. Some parliamentarians have accused the Commission of operating with malice and political bias, leading to tension between the anti-corruption body and the legislature. Calls for Mr. Panton's resignation intensified following his appearance before Parliament's Integrity Commission Oversight Committee in 2024, where he was accused of disrespecting lawmakers. Political commentator Kevin O'Brien Chang believes Mr. Panton's most enduring legacy will be that controversial parliamentary appearance.
There's a lot of questionable things that, in my view, have been done. But Mr. Panton's appearance at the Parliamentary Committee was unnecessarily controversial about what kind of water they're drinking here. I'm carrying my own water. What does that have to do with his role? His role is to be a sober, retired judge, neutral, not taking sides. And many people felt he was taking sides or insinuating he was on a side or one side. To say our politicians, elected politicians, something wrong with them brain, is saying something wrong with Jamaicans' brain. So that will be his legacy, I believe, when people talk about him.
Kevin O'Brien Chang, political commentator. Chang expressed hope for the incoming chairman to bring a more measured and balanced approach to the role. On the other hand, Executive Director of Jamaicans for Justice Michael Jackson commends Mr. Panton for his firm leadership, stating that he has served the country well.
His tenure has been marked by steadfast commitment to transparency and accountability, often in the face of fierce resistance from parliamentarians. We have heard some of the comments that have come from Parliament that have been unbecoming of those who we have elected to serve, and those comments have often sparked negative commentary on social media that are quite frankly distasteful. Justice Panton's bold stance against corruption has elevated the Commission's role in our estimation as a vital guardian for public trust. He has served this country well as a judge, and I think he served this country well, remarkably so, as the chairman of the Commission.
Michael Jackson, Executive Director of Jamaicans for Justice. You're listening to Nationwide News at 5. More news after these.
Value Drug Pharmacy offers curbside pickup and delivery of your branded and generic drugs. WhatsApp your prescription to 876-881-6695. The time by Value Drug Pharmacy is
15 minutes after 5.
Rentokil Initial offers air purification solutions with triple filtration and unique auto-sensing capabilities that neutralizes malodor and replaces it with clean air. Call Rentokil Initial at 926-4236 for more details.
The temperature by Rentokil is...
It's 28 degrees Celsius in both Kingston and Montego Bay.
Jamaica, we are on the road to Republic. The Constitution Amendment Republic Act 2024 has been tabled, taking us one step closer to a future with our own Jamaican head of state. Read the bill and track its progress at roadtorepublic.mlca.gov.jm. Your voice matters. Get involved and stay informed. Join the journey and let's walk this road together. The Republic starts with you.
Continuing the news, the private sector organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, is calling on the government to remain focused on reducing the country's debt and structural reforms to further boost Jamaica's credit rating. The call comes as international financial services company Fitch has affirmed Jamaica's BB- credit rating. While welcoming the development, the PSOJ notes the Jamaican economy is still faced with challenges. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
Fitch Ratings Incorporated is one of the 3 nationally recognized statistical rating organizations designated by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. It is considered one of the big 3 credit rating agencies, along with Moody's and Standard & Poor's. Earlier this week, it affirmed Jamaica's BB- credit rating and positive outlook. Jamaica achieved the rating for the first time in the country's history in March of last year. It's 2 notches below what is considered investment-grade status, a BBB. The PSOJ says the reaffirmation underscores the resilience of Jamaica's economic fundamentals and the government's steadfast commitment to prudent fiscal and monetary policies. It says the latest decision to maintain the rating signals continued confidence in the nation's ability to sustain macroeconomic stability despite challenges such as last year's economic downturn following Hurricane Beryl. Fitch credited the affirmation with the country's strong fiscal management, a stable policy framework, and improved revenue generation, among other developments. The PSOJ says the affirmation also reinforces that Jamaica's economic policies remain on the right track, with great potential for Jamaican businesses. However, the private sector organization says more needs to be done to push the country's rating further. This includes continued focus on bringing debt levels closer to the BB median of 55.6% of GDP. It's also calling for more structural reforms aimed at improving productivity, labor force participation, and innovation. It says crime reduction and climate resilience measures are also pivotal in attracting more foreign direct investment and mitigating against external risk and economic disruptions. The PSOJ says while Jamaica's economic trajectory remains positive, challenges persist, including low productivity, government bureaucracy, and vulnerability to external shocks such as climate-related disasters. It's encouraging continued investment in human capital development, infrastructure, and public safety reforms to address these structural weaknesses and further enhance Jamaica's growth potential. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Favour Williams says the affirmation of Jamaica's credit rating is an endorsement of the fiscal policy being pursued by the government. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
The World in a Minute. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has announced that he will step down from office on March 16. He made the announcement on Wednesday. It marks the end of Dr. Rowley's decade-long tenure at the helm of the Twin Island nation. Rowley will hand over leadership to Energy Minister Stuart Young. Young will also succeed him as leader of the People's National Movement. Rowley's impending departure follows his final appearance at a CARICOM summit last week, where regional leaders paid tribute to his contributions. He announced his intention to retire from active politics in January.
A rapidly spreading outbreak of measles in Texas has killed 2 people. They are the first mortalities from the disease in the U.S. in a decade. One of the victims was an unvaccinated child who died in a Texas hospital. U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. did not give any information on the other victim. The Texas Department of State Health Services says it is aware of 124 diagnosed cases since the outbreak began in early January. Almost all cases were in patients 17 years old and younger. The U.S. declared measles eliminated in 2000, but the country has seen outbreaks in recent years amid a rise in anti-vaccine sentiment.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, former mayor of Port Maria, Richard Crary, wins multi-million-dollar defamation lawsuit against the Jamaica Gleaner newspaper.
Retired Supreme Court Judge Carol Lawrence Beswick is confirmed as new chairman of the Integrity Commission.
And a former governor of the BOJ, Brian Winter, is also appointed a commissioner of the IC.
PSOJ calls on government to remain focused on reducing the country's debt amid Fitch's BB- credit rating.
I'm Robianne Williams.
And I'm Mahiri Stewart.
You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News next, the headlines at 6.
You ever get bun yet? The bun was sweet so much you can't resist. Me not talk about heartbreak. Me not talk about the bun with full of spice, raisin, and the perfect glaze. Mother's Bakery Easter bun. This is the bun where everybody need this Easter. If you don't get bun, you not live life right. Mother's Bakery Easter bun. Get the best type of bun from the right people. Mother's Bakery Easter bun. The bun you have to get with love in every bite. Available in select supermarkets.
Calling all coffee lovers, the wait is over. The 8th annual Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival at Hope Gardens on Saturday, March 1, celebrating the world's finest Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee. Enjoy thrilling barista, mixologist showdown, interactive cooking and coffee demos, unique coffee-infused products, art and craft, mouth-watering food village, live entertainment, and so much more. 5,000 for adults, 3,000 for children 12 and under. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. For more details, follow the pages. The Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival is presented by the Ministry of Tourism and Tourism Enhancement Fund partners. See you there.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. They almost always have it.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Jamaica's senior women's football team, they lead the host country Peru by 3-1 at sports time. In the second game of their 2-match international friendly in Lima, Naya Cardosa scored her first international goal to give the Reggae Girls the lead on minute 6. 14 minutes later, Rihanna Blades, also with her first international goal, doubled the lead for Jamaica. Tiffany Cameron made it 3-0 in the 22nd minute. This was her 8th goal in national national colours, the hosts reduced Jamaica's lead to 2 in the 36th minute. Technical Director of Cavalier Football Club Rudolph Speed says there's no plan B as it relates to the venue for the big CONCACAF Champions Cup round of 16 second leg game against Major League Soccer's Inter Miami on March 13. Speed says despite renovation being done to the National Stadium, he's been given assurances by Independence Park Limited operators of the facility that it will be ready for the big game. Speed says he's every confidence given what he's been told that all will be in place in time for CONCACAF to first pass the venue and for the game to go ahead as planned.
We are assured that the stadium will be ready, and we're not worried. We believe the stadium operators that they will have the ground in good condition for the game, and we'll leave that to them. There's no plan B at this particular time because there seems to have a need for that plan B.
The clash with Inter Miami was confirmed last night in Florida when the David Beckham-owned franchise beat Sporting Kansas City by 3-1 in the second leg of their playoffs to advance 4-1 on aggregate. The first leg will be played in Florida on March 6, the return in Kingston March 13. Speed says it was always a dream of Cavalier to play against Inter Miami, which boasts the likes of Leo Messi and Luis Suarez.
The team has always looked forward to this fixture. Even from last year when we were in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, we had hoped to play Inter Miami. It was always a dream of the players. I think it is just important for the players to remain focused and level-headed, keep their feet on the ground, and I think we'll give a very good account of ourselves. This is a game that we have all wanted to play in.
Technical Director of National and Caribbean Football Champions Cavalier, Rudolph Speed, speaking today from Miami. He attended the game last night. Liverpool today inched a step closer to winning the English Premier League title after another polished display in seeing off Newcastle United 2-0 at Anfield. Dominic Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister got the goals for the Reds, who are now 13 points clear at the top with 10 games to go in their season.
Diaz, snapped off to Szoboszlai, who steers it in. He's contributing some important goals in the run-in. Salah, McAllister, that's more like it from Liverpool. Calmness with a clinical edge, and that should be enough to establish a 13-point lead.
Yeah, and it was, and of course, the title run-in has been made easier after the second-place team Arsenal dropped more crucial points in a 0-0 draw against Nottingham Forest. Defenders Harry Maguire and Matt De Ligt were on target, plus an own goal. As Manchester United beat Ipswich Town 3-2 at Old Trafford, they moved up a place to 14th in the table. Erling Haaland scored on his return to action as champions Manchester City beat Tottenham Hotspur 1-0 in London.
Sitting into the penalty area again. Haaland, it's a tap in. Manchester City run it through as Haaland passes to the back of the net to give Manchester City the lead.
Brentford and Everton drew 1-1 in the days of the game. Champions Jamaica suffered their first defeat of the 2025 West Indies Women's 50-over competition, going down by 8 wickets to Guyana at St. Paul's Sports Complex in Bastyr St. Kitts today. Jamaica chose to bat and were dismissed for 175 in 47 overs and 4 balls. Chedi Nation led the way. She got 32. Nisha and Waysome made 29 and Lena Scott 22. Lafiana Millington bagged a 3 for 16 and Shabika Gabnaji 2 for 27. The Guyanese replied with 178 for 2 in 47 overs on the ball, and this on the back of a well-played unbeaten 72 from Liliana Gruman 72 and Mandy Mangru 60. Jamaica will next be in action on Friday. They take on Barbados at Conakry. The Bajans in the meantime ticked off their second win from as many games after easing to a 56-run win over the Windward Islands at Warner Park. The Knight sisters, Kaisia 63 and Kishona 51, put on a fourth wicket stand of 119 as Barbados posted 181 all-out in 43 overs and 3 balls, then dismissed the Windwards for 125 in 30 overs and 5 balls, while Trinidad and Tobago beat the Leeward Islands by 4 wickets for their first victory of the campaign. Renice Boyce 78 and Shawisa Hector 35 made most runs for the Leewards in their 188 all-out out in 46 overs against Anissa Mohammed, 3 for 26. Trinidad and Tobago replied with 190 for 6, with Brittany Cooper making 72 and Leanne Kirby making 41. And finally, in sports at this time, England were dumped from the Champions Trophy tournament today after suffering an 8-run defeat to Afghanistan in Lahore. Joe Root threatened to rescue his side from the brink, hitting a superb 120 as others fell around him in pursuit of 326. Root was caught with 39 runs needed from 26 balls as Afghanistan, who would have also been out with a defeat, came roaring back. England at one stage needed 17 from 14 balls with 3 wickets in hand, but they fell away after Jamie Overton hit to long on for 32 as the side was dismissed for 317. They managed only singles from the first 4 balls, and Rashid was caught at long off the penultimate delivery as England was dismissed for 317. Earlier, Ibrahim Zandran hit one of the most special innings you'll see in any form of cricket today. He's blasted 177 from 146 balls after they slumped to 37 for 3 at one stage. The defeat means that England are eliminated at the earliest opportunity. Their fate decided before the final group match against South Africa in Karachi on Saturday. After the final catch was taken, the thousands of Afghan fans inside the stadium in Lahore were dancing in the aisle. And that will do it for sports. We're going to be back, though, at 6:05 with much more.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. They almost always have it.
Since 2016, 156,000 more Jamaicans are working. This is more than any other time in our history. Your government is caring for you. The time brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister is
5:31.
Fall in love with a new Mazda. From now until March 31, drive away an elegant CX-60, a majestic CX-90, or a nimble CX-5 and get a 2-year service package, 1 year free insurance, free license and registration, plus free window tinting. Conditions apply. Give in to temptation. Visit Executive Motors today. Mazda. Love at first drive.
Ready to take your investments to new heights? Look no further. Barita Investments Limited just scored an A+ credit rating from CariCris. This affirms that your money is stable with a team dedicated to financial strength and expertise. Join the ranks of satisfied investors who trust Barita to deliver results. Don't just invest, elevate your financial journey with Barita Investments today. Call us at 888-429-5333 or visit any of our locations at Kingston, Montego Bay, or Mandeville.
Payroll processing giving you angina? Complete your payroll in just 15 minutes with ICOPay. ICOPay is an efficient payroll software that simplifies payroll processing and returns for businesses of all sizes. Features includes SO1 and SO2 filings, online salary deposits, payslip distribution via email, and many more. It's Jamaica's best-selling payroll solution. Visit ICOPayJA.com for a demo. Follow at ICOPayJA or call or WhatsApp at 876-333-5809.
The future is here with Infinity Cooperative Credit Union Jamaica Limited. Educom and Gateway have joined forces to bring you more convenience, innovation, and opportunities to achieve your dreams. Enjoy excellent service and seamless financial solutions, all designed for your lifestyle. Whether it's loans, savings, or insurance, we're here to make your financial journey effortless. Infinity Cooperative Credit Union Jamaica Limited, where possibilities are endless.
Digicel, live life your way, no free what? Digicel postpaid. With Digicel postpaid, it's all about you. Sign up or pay your bills to stay active for a chance to win a luxurious all-expense paid trip for 2 to Royalton, Antigua. With round-trip flights on us, every week you could win exciting prizes. Event tickets, gym memberships, spa packages, excursion adventures, restaurant vouchers, and more. When you opt in on the My Digicel app, life your way starts now with Digicel. Better connected.
Promotion ends March 31. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
The NWC's Bill Free promotion is here. Be one of 350 persons to get $20,000 water credit when you pay your bill in full every month until March 31, 2025. And there's more. Oh yes, you can win $300,000, $200,000 or $100,000 cash in the NWC's Bill Free promotion if you register for e-bill and pay your bill in full every month until March 31. Conditions apply. Visit nwcjamaica.com for details. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act, a part of the NWC's bucket full of goodies.
Cover Story is brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
Good afternoon, listeners and viewers. It's 5:35. It's the 26th of February. Welcome to the Cover Story. I'm Siobhan Campbell.
And my name is Sanjay Lois, and we are turning our attention to a statement put forward by the Director of Public Prosecutions today. That's Paula Llewellyn, and she's expressing concerns over the impact the public discourse surrounding the matter involving Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, may have on the court matter involving Jeanon Panton. This comes as the JLP and PNP have engaged in a public spat over the government's handling of the multi-billion-dollar fraud at the firm.
The DPP says she's discussed with members of her team concerns about the possible deleterious impact on the fairness of the impending trial proceedings. She says the concern follows conversations with John Clark, one of the lawyers for the accused Jeanon Panton. The DPP says while she acknowledges the right of citizens to express themselves freely, she is seeking to remind the public that in the court of law, fairness to the accused, who is innocent until proven guilty by evidence given in court, is a critical principle of law and practice which the courts guard jealously.
She says given that Jeanon Panton's case is incomplete, she is urging members of the public to be judicious with their comments about the matter. The parties are expected to attend a case management hearing on March 20 to discuss, among other things, the mode of the trial. Ms. Llewellyn joins us now. Good afternoon, DPP.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon to your listeners.
Good afternoon, Madam Llewellyn. Well, go ahead, Sanjay.
Yeah. When you look on high-profile matters, DPP, in the public domain, how do you balance the right of the public to demand accountability with the need for a fair trial?
Well, first of all, I always try to explain to the public the difference between the sort of verbiage you can have in the court of public opinion where you have no guardrails. This is different when you look at the court of law. In the court of public opinion, you have the different social media platforms, you have the mainstream media, both the electronic and the written media. But in the court of law, the court is not concerned with any of that. The court is concerned with the evidence, with the concept of fairness, most critically, the law, and will guard the overriding objective. This has been said in case law time and time again. The overriding objective of any trial is fairness to the accused. And that is just it. So those of us as stakeholders, as officers of the court, we have to go to the Court of Appeal, prosecutors to defend a conviction that we got. Defense counsel go to the Court of Appeal to appeal a matter because they would wish for the appeal to be allowed. But at the heart of it, we can't go with what in Jamaican parlance we call susu or gossip. We have to go with the evidentiary material that was presented in court. And the court is very, very, very strict in making sure that there has been no miscarriage of justice, there has been no unfairness. And the whole concept of pretrial publicity is a particular area of law, a subject matter that has had a lot of case law in it. Just ask Mr. John Clark, who covered that area extensively when he appeared for the defense in a very high-profile matter in the Court of Appeal. And a retrial was not ordered by the court. I don't think I have to tell you, gentlemen, which case I'm thinking of. But
certainly,
I know that Mr. Clark is very au fait with the authorities on pretrial publicity.
But certainly, Madam Llewellyn, it's not a random comment on Twitter or some other social media platform that you're concerned about. Certainly, you're concerned about the wider implications of, say, the political discourse that is happening surrounding the case matter.
Mr. Campbell, please don't try to put words in my mouth. You can see from the character nature of my commentary in the press release, I deliberately refrained from naming any witness.
Very well.
I deliberately refrained from naming any. I didn't mention the word politics or politica. So please don't put words in my mouth.
Oh, I would not dare to do so.
Anybody who reads this press release or they hear it from the media and they believe that they may be guided by it in the public interest, then I would invite them. And I'm doing it in a very gentle way and discreet way.
But certainly, Madam
to just
DPP.
adhere to the concerns that we are raising.
Yes, Madam DP, but certainly then you would expect a certain elevated caution from those who are more readily accessible to the public discourse, such as having access to media platforms where they can vent and air their frustrations rather than a random person on the street speaking on Twitter or Facebook?
Well, that is so. But what I'm trying to avoid is a situation that may occur, that the defense may feel that the discourse has been so toxic, or it has been so negative, or it has been so excessive, that they may feel that they would wish to ask the court, perhaps. I hope I'm not putting an idea in anybody's head, that perhaps the matter should be set for trial 3 or 4 years down the road, when the prosecution is ready for trial. So it would mean that if perchance this submission was made, and then you would have affidavits and newspaper clippings of all sorts of things being said by all sorts of people, then it would mean that the prosecution would now have to fight to try to make sure that we are able to get the trial date set, within a reasonable time. We don't wish to have anything complicating the situation. This is one of the rare instances, and I'm not saying that we have not had high public interest matters that, has not excited public discourse. But the way that this is playing out in the public domain, it to me, it's almost frightening as a law practitioner of the possibilities that can occur, the unintended consequences that can occur. This case has used a lot of our human resources, the investigators, the prosecutors. I can tell you, long nights of consultation and collaboration at the office. I have sat in on 1 or 2 of the meetings, right? And the material is very voluminous. We're talking about boxes of material. We're talking about files upon files upon files. And with all that effort, we are career prosecutors. The investigators from FID are career professionals as investigators. We have done our job. We prefer the indictment, the matters before the court, and as in so many other cases, we would just wish to have the natural due process occur without any or too much complication.
You acknowledge, DPP, the right of citizens to express themselves freely. But
we have
how
said
do you
that in paragraph 5.
Right. But how do you respond to those who argue that limiting public discourse could be perceived as restricting transparency and accountability?
Well, we would not be asking for a limitation of public discourse. What we're asking for is just a recognition and a respect for the court process. Respect for the court process, as happens in so many other cases. We subscribe in Jamaica to the open court principle, which means that unless a matter is an in-camera matter, for example, a sexual offense case, otherwise, unless it falls within one of the exceptions, the open court principle assures members of the public that the media is able to cover the matter and bring the evidence, and they can see whether in the written word or reportage from reporters who were at court to indicate what has happened. And you saw where the Chief Justice, when he was trying the Klansman case, I mean, it was a first. And I can tell you, we spoke and we agreed that given the times that we are in and the clamor for transparency and the importance of the subject matter, that we would allow the voice of a prosecutor to be heard. I mean, it was a first, actually outlining the opening in the case. And although, strictly speaking, you had all the evidence about guns, etc., and murders, the Chief Justice, after outlining a protocol, so although he ascribes to, the fact that constitutionally freedom of expression, but we are also a nation governed by the rule of law, which is why persons can't just get up and defame people. You have the right to speak about anything, but you don't have the right to defame people. Right. Whether you are doing it on a social media platform or otherwise. So in the same way you don't have the right to do this, and you have to, respect other people's right to have their reputation, so to speak. In the same way, what I'm asking is that, as is done in so many other cases, respect due process and the court's right to supervise that due process in the interest of justice.
Hold it first, DPP. We're up on a break. Just don't forget your point. Let's just take this break and come back and allow you to finish what you were saying.
Clear your barrels and personal shipments with ease and convenience. Request a customs contactless clearance today through CCP at jca.gov.jm. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is...
It's 5:47.
If you owe the NWC for more than 2 years, your aged debt may qualify for a 30%, 35%, 40%, or even up to 50% discounts, depending on its age and other special circumstances. Visit nwcjamaica.com for further information. Don't delay. Let's hear from you today. Dial 888-225-5692 or 888-CALL NWC. Get your share from the NWC's bucket full of goodies, serving you in so many ways.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jackama figure dig the wall.
Our Total Tools.
Weed whacker figure trim the lawn. We have everything your job demand.
Total Tools.
We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When you say home improvement, landscape construction, or Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option.
Total Tools, located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slive Road, Kingston.
And lot C6 Jacksaw, Sentence Bay. Call us today.
Ready to take your investments to new heights? Look no further. Barita Investments Limited just scored an A+ credit rating from CariCris. This affirms that your money is stable with a team dedicated to financial strength and expertise. Join the ranks of satisfied investors who trust Barita to deliver results. Don't just invest, elevate your financial journey with Barita Investments today. Call us at 888-429-5333 or visit any of our locations at Kingston, Montego Bay or Mandeville.
Area Council 1 meets in West Rural St. Andrew, Thursday, February 27th at the Stony Hill Vocational High School, 6 p.m. Deputy Leader MP Desmond McKenzie leads the team. Here MPs Fable Williams, Alanda Terrelong, Senator Marlon Morgan, Councillor Tasha Schwab, John Myers, Rowan Hall and others. Hosted by MP Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, always crossing the finish line and left them pull up on the side track. Area Council 1 meeting, West Rural St. Andrew, Stony Hill Vocational High School, Thursday 6 p.m. See you there!
Thanks for staying with us here on Nationwide at 5. We're speaking with the country's Director of Public Prosecution, Paula Llewellyn. And just before the break, DPP, you are responding to the question about those who argue about limiting public discourse could be perceived as restricting transparency and accountability. And I will allow you to finish that point.
Well, Sanjay, if I may, you have seen over the last several years the Office of the DPP conducting very high public interest prosecutions. You saw the Beaches Stout trial. You saw the Klansman trial. You saw the Chanelka, Mary trial from Montego Bay. You have seen several high-profile trials that we have done, and not so high-profile. Do you recall us parading or having witnesses come and talk about statements that they have made and talk about the case before the case has been tried? Have you seen that as part of our modus operandi? Because there is a good reason for that, why in our jurisprudence that is not encouraged. You have a concept, for example, very often a witness's credibility is going to be tested by cross-examination after evidence in chief is given. Now, if you have made previous statements out there, outside the court, but they are still relevant to what you are giving in evidence, the defense counsel can be at liberty to test you with it and try to prove a previous inconsistent statement and totally undermine your credibility. So, it's just not encouraged. If it is that a witness has an issue and they need clarity, they can always, and they do, come back and speak to the prosecutors, the investigators, or one or two of them may retain private counsel who may have a watching brief. And this is what is done. But when you have a situation where you have a lot of this, what I would call excessive pre-trial publicity, some of it being rather toxic from the little bit I've seen, what may happen is that it serves to have a chilling effect on potential witnesses and also potential witnesses in the ongoing part of the investigation that is still continuing. So whereas persons may say, oh yes, I gave a statement, I'm going to come and give evidence. Or, I will come and give a statement in this part of the investigation. They hear and look and hear all sorts of things and say, oh my goodness, this is a case open justice means that the media will be covering it. No, I don't think I'm going to. I don't want my name to be called. I don't want to be seen to be involved. And I'm just going to go and migrate or leave the scene. We don't want that. And then at the end of the day, what happens to the case? You have the court of public opinion. Our jurisprudence does not really, not in Jamaica. We do not have that sort of practice where persons can go and just talk about what statement they gave, and the court of public opinion is just going to judge. Then what happens to the matter in the court of law?
But madam,
it to the point.
Yes.
It is not something that should be encouraged. And what can happen is that the court, and I've seen it happen, of its own volition, can decide in the interest of justice to make certain orders to safeguard the integrity of the process.
And I understand where you're coming from, Madam DPP, but two things. The first, isn't the nature of this case and those it involves and touches, it almost, by its very nature, invites additional scrutiny from the public and from larger-than-life political figures, almost as an unavoidable consequence of what type of case this is? And doesn't it mean that there's a symptomatic problem with how we process justice in this country, where it seems that some of these matters drag on for longer than necessarily they should?
No, with the greatest of respect, Mr. Campbell, with the greatest of respect, as I always say, first of all, Jamaica is not a banana republic. To me, it's only if you're in a banana republic that something can happen today and somebody's executed the next month. We don't have that type of justice system. We are governed by the rule of law. And this type of case, it is known, practitioners would know, that to investigate complex fraud cases, in fact, in America, my mutual legal assistance team that sometimes has to process requests from foreign jurisdictions, investigators in fraud cases, murder cases, and they ask for information here. We have to take applications to court to get the information. And when we look at some of these comparable fraud cases, in America it might take 4 or 5 years to investigate before it even reaches court. So the fact that the matter went before the court, I would say in less than 2 years from the time the offense was discovered, is not a bad thing. It tells you how well in what was a very, very, very complex, laborious matter to investigate and to go through the documentation, to prepare the indictment and to prepare ourselves, because we are ready. The prosecution is ready to try the case. But in our jurisprudence, because we are governed by the rule of law, one hand cannot clap. So we have to wait on the defense to also, after we have served them all of these documents, to indicate to the court that they are now ready to set the trial date. Because that is what due process is all about. And that is, in our jurisprudence, fairness to the accused. If it is that you get a conviction in a matter and it goes to the Court of Appeal and it is quite clear in the Court of Appeal that there was a miscarriage of justice because there was unfairness meted out to the accused, even if the evidence is abundant, the Court of Appeal will not hesitate to quash the conviction. And it's only if you are lucky they may order a retrial. But we have seen in several cases that the whole issue of delay has caused the Court of Appeal, along with pre-trial publicity, to say, no, you would not be able to have a fair trial of this matter. Therefore, we are not going to order a retrial.
But how do you guard against that in the open, modern, liberal democracy that we live in, Madam DPP? As you said, we're not a banana republic. How do you guard against that?
the reason why I go out of my way to do this is not only in my own humble way to try to, from my level, safeguard the integrity of the fairness of the process, but also it is my way of educating the public. Because some people, members of the media, because you interact with a lot of lawyers, or sometimes you have to cover cases, you hear the judges make rulings, you even read some of the case law, would be aware that we do not, in terms of the rule of law, belong to the eye for an eye justice situation, right? Which you would find maybe in a banana republic, where you have hit or you have taken out the eye of somebody. So the complainant, instead of carrying the matter to court, can just simply just engage in jungle justice and say, well, you took out my eye, I'm going to take out your other eye. It doesn't work that way. So once you make a report, there's an investigation, and from that investigation, there is a product in terms of statements and other documentary material from which one can comfortably indict, that is formal charge, an accused person, and the matter goes to court. The allegations may or may not be proven. If they are proven to the requisite standard, that is beyond reasonable doubt, then you have a conviction. If it is not proven to the requisite standard, then you have an acquittal. And that is what our rule of law in Jamaica prescribes. And we are obliged as officers of the court to follow the law, not so or gossip, but to follow the law and to follow the evidence. And part and parcel of what a judge and a prosecutor are obliged to observe. When we make decisions, we cannot advert to the race, the color, the religion, the politics, the gender of anybody, be they a witness, accused, victim, or anybody within the case. We have to be objective, and we have to follow the law. And that is part of our rule of law architecture. And it has worked. Yes, you have challenges and you have problems, but so far, it seems to me to be the best system that we still have.
We have to leave it there, DPP. Paula Llewellyn is the country's Director of Public Prosecutions. Thank you as always for your time, Madam DPP.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you very much to you and your listeners.
Have a good afternoon.
Well, listeners, that's it. We take the break. The headlines comes your way next.
Cover Story was brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
6:01.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Mahiri Stewart. In a judgment handed down today, Supreme Court Judge Sonia Wint Blair ordered the Gleaner to pay $10 million to Richard Creary for defaming him. The matter concerns a story published by the newspaper, which was based on erroneous information published in a report by the Integrity Commission. The article had the sub-headline, Key Enablers. The article quoted the Integrity Commission, which erroneously named Richard Creary as part of a panel which had interviewed Floyd Grindley for the post of Executive Director of Petrojam. Creary's lawyers argued that while other media entities took reasonable steps to publicize the Integrity Commission's admission of its error, the Gleaner did not. The court ruled that the Gleaner, by virtue of the headline of the article and some of its contents, defamed defamed Creary and caused him unwarranted distress and embarrassment. The court said the Gleaner should be held culpable for failing to apologize to Creary and failing to seek comment from him prior to the publication of the erroneous aspects of the Integrity Commission report. The Gleaner has also been ordered to pay Creary's legal fees. The country's Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP Paula Llewellyn, has expressed concern that the pre-trial publicity surrounding the multi-million-dollar fraud at Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, could undermine the fairness of the impending trial. This as the country's two major political parties have been engaged in a public spat over which administration is to be blamed for failing to protect investors from several issues at the firm dating back over a decade. The war of words has continued on several political platforms, with both major political parties refusing to accept the responsibility of causing more than 40 clients to lose their savings after the fraud was uncovered at the entity in January 2023. One of those clients is Sprint legend Usain Bolt. He was fleeced of almost $2 billion. According to DPP Llewellyn, the case is on the verge of being compromised. In a release on Wednesday, the DPP says the public discourse could undermine the fairness of the impending trial. The DPP says while she acknowledges the right of citizens to express themselves freely in the court of law, fairness to the accused is a critical principle of law and practice which the courts guard jealously. She's also reminding the public that the accused remains innocent until proven otherwise. DPP Llewellyn is urging members of the public to be judicious with their comments about the matter. Governor General Sir Patrick Allen has named former Supreme Court Judge Carol Lawrence Beswick chairman of the Integrity Commission. Former Governor of the Bank of Jamaica, Brian Winter, has also been appointed to the commission. Justice Lawrence Beswick served as a senior puisne judge in the Supreme Court until her retirement in December 2022. She holds an LLB from the University of the West Indies and has significant legal experience, including roles as Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions and Acting Judge of the Court of Appeal. Mr. Winter, meanwhile, served as governor of the Bank of Jamaica from 2009 to 2019. He is a recognized financial expert with a substantial background in monetary policy and financial regulation. King's House says their appointments to support the Commission's ongoing efforts to maintain and strengthen integrity in Jamaica's public sector. Minister of Education, Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, wants to amend legislation to give the ministry more power to intervene in school disputes. This comes as classes at St. James High School were disrupted on Monday and cancelled on Tuesday following ongoing disagreements between Principal Joseph Williams and Board Chairman Christopher McCurdy. The latest incident saw Williams allegedly blocking McCurdy from entering the compound for a meeting. Minister Morris Dixon described the incident as unacceptable.
We feel that we have to look at the legislation, we have to look also at the regulations, because I was on the Education Transformation Commission, and from then we had said that the law and also the regulations, they don't give enough power for stepping in. And that is something that we're going to have to address, because what happened is unacceptable this week. We're even looking at our regulations to look at how we can change those to ensure that if there are any issues in a school, that there is more latitude for us to act. I heard someone on the radio yesterday saying that I was impotent to act, meaning that the law doesn't give me much leeway in terms of stepping in schools. And I think it is something as Jamaica we have to look at.
Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, Minister of Education and Youth, she was speaking at the post-cabinet media briefing at the office of the Prime Minister on Wednesday. The Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, is urging the government to remain focused on reducing the country's debt and structural reforms to further boost Jamaica's credit rating. The call comes as international financial services company Fitch has affirmed Jamaica's BB- credit rating. The PSOJ says the reaffirmation underscores the resilience of Jamaica's economic fundamentals and the government's steadfast commitment to prudent fiscal and monetary policies. It says the latest decision to maintain the rating signals continued confidence in the nation's ability to sustain macroeconomic stability despite challenges such as last year's economic downturn following Hurricane Beryl. Fitch credited the affirmation with the country's strong fiscal management, stable policy framework, and improved revenue generation, among other developments. The PSOJ says the affirmation also reinforces that Jamaica's economic policies remain on the right track, with great potential for Jamaican businesses. However, the private sector organization says more needs to be done to push the country's credit rating further. Those are the headlines at 6. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Sports is next.
Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, is a financial reporting firm that delivers accounting and compliance services on time. Call us today at 876-908-0486-7. Email us at clientservices@cocnjamaica.com or visit our website at www.cocnjamaica.com. COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
You ever get bun yet? The bun was sweet so much you can't resist. Me not talk about heartbreak. Me not talk about the bun with full of spice, raisin, and the perfect glaze. Mother's Bakery Easter bun. This is the bun where everybody need this Easter. If you don't get bun, you not live life right. Mother's Bakery Easter bun. Get the best type of bun from the right people. Mother's Bakery Easter bun. The bun you have to get with love in every bite. Available in select supermarkets.
Area Council 1 meets in West Rural St. Andrew, Thursday, February 27th at the Stony Hill Vocational High School, 6 p.m. Deputy Leader MP Desmond McKenzie leads the team. Here MPs Fable Williams, Alanda Terrelong, Senator Marlon Morgan, Councillor Tasha Schwab, John Myers, Rowan Hall, and others. Hosted by MP Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, always crossing the finish line and lift them up on his side track. Area Council 1 meeting, West Rural St. Andrew, Stony Hill Vocational High School, Thursday 6 p.m. See you there!
Taboo topics, bulletins after dark,
Riveting discussions,
celebrity news and interviews,
topics that are shunned by society,
and everything else in between. Boyatings After Dark with Kareem Boyatings, each and every Wednesday, 8 to 11 p.m. Boyatings After Dark. No topic is too taboo or hard to discuss. Come get your mind blown and your curiosity explored. Boyatings After Dark.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Jamaica's senior women's football team beat host Peru by 3-2 a short time ago in the second game of their two-match international friendly series in Lima. Naya Cardosa scored her first international goal to give the Reggae Girls a lead on minute 6. Another first-time score, Rihanna Blades, made it 2-0 14 minutes later. Tiffany Cameron made it 3-0 in the 22nd minute. This was her 8th goal in the Jamaican colours. The host reduced Jamaica's lead to 2 in the 36th minute. Peru further reduced the deficit to 1 in the second half, but the Jamaicans had enough to go over the line there, win the two-match series 2-0. Technical Director of Cavalier Football Club Rudolph Speed says there's no plan B as it relates to the venue for the big CONCACAF Champions Cup round of 16 second leg game against Major League Soccer's Inter Miami on March 13. Speed says despite renovation being done at the National Stadium, he's been given assurances by Independence Park Limited, operators of the facility, that it will be ready for the big game. Speed says his every confidence, given what he's been told, that all will be in place in time for CONCACAF 1 to pass the venue and then for the game to go ahead as planned.
We are assured that the stadium will be ready, and we're not worried. We believe the stadium operators that they will have the ground in good condition for the game, and we'll leave that to them. There is no plan B at this particular time because there seems to have a need for that plan B.
The clash with Inter Miami was confirmed last night in Florida when the David Beckham-owned franchise beat Sporting Kansas City by 3-1 in the second leg of their playoffs to advance 4-1 on aggregate. The first leg will be played in Florida on March 6, the return leg in Kingston March 13. Speed says it was always a dream of Cavalier to play against Inter Miami, which boasts the likes of Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez.
The team has always looked forward to this fixture. Even from last year when we were in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, we had hoped to play Inter Miami. It was always a dream of the players. I think it is just important for the players to remain focused and level-headed, keep their feet on the ground, and I think we'll give a very good account of ourselves. This is a game that we have all wanted to play in.
Technical Director of National and Caribbean Football Champions Cavalier, Rudo Speedy, speaking to us from Miami today. He attended last night's game against Kansas City. Liverpool today inched a step closer to winning the English Premier League title after another polished display in seeing off Newcastle United 2-0 at Anfield. Dominic Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister got the goals for the Reds, who are now 13 points clear at the top with 10 games to go in their season.
Diaz, snapped off to Szoboszlai, who steers it in. He's contributing some important goals in the run-in. Salah, McAllister, that's more like it from Liverpool. Calmness with a clinical edge, and that should be enough to establish a 13-point lead.
The run to the title has been made easier for Liverpool after second-place Arsenal dropped more crucial points in a 0-0 draw against Nottingham Forest. Defenders Harry Maguire and Matt De Ligt were on target, plus an own goal, as Manchester United beat Ipswich Town by 3-2 at Old Trafford to move up to 14th spot in the table. Erling Haaland scored on his return to action as champions Manchester City beat Tottenham Hotspur 1-0 in the capital.
City into the penalty area again. Haaland, it's a tap-in. Manchester City run it through as Haaland passes to the back of the net to give Manchester City the lead.
Brentford and Everton played out a 1-1 draw in the day's other game. Champions Jamaica suffered their first defeat of the 2025 West Indies Women's 50-over competition. They went down by 8 wickets to Guyana at the St. Paul Sports Complex in Bastyr St. Kitts today. Jamaica chose to bat and were dismissed for 175 in 47 overs and 4 balls. Chedi Nation led the way. She got 32, was supported by Nisha and Waysome 29 and Lena Scott 22. Lafiana Millington bagged a 3 for 16 and Shabika Gijnabi 2 for 27. The Guyanese replied with 178 for 2 in 47 overs on the ball, and this on the back of a well-played unbeaten 72 from Liliana Grimond 72 and Mandy Mangru 60. Jamaica will next be in action on Friday. They take on Barbados at Conakry. The Bajans in the meantime ticked off their second win from as many starts after easing to a 56-run win over the Windward Islands at Warner Park. The Knight sisters, Kaisia 63 and Kishona 51, put on a 4th wicket stand of 119 as Barbados posted 181 all out in 43 overs and 3 balls, then dismissed the Windward Islands for 125 in 30 overs and 5 balls. Trinidad and Tobago beat the Leeward Islands by 4 wickets for their first victory of the campaign. Renice Boyce, 78, and Shawina Hector, 35, made most runs for the Leeward Islands in their 188 all-out in 46 overs against Anissa Mohammed, 3 for 26. Trinidad replied with a 190 for 6. Brittany Cooper led the way with 72. Leanne Kirby supported with an unbeaten 41. England were dumped from the Champions Trophy tournament today. They suffered an 8-run defeat to Afghanistan in Lahore. Joe Root threatened to rescue his side from the brink, hitting a superb 120 as others fell around him in pursuit of 326. Root was caught with 39 runs needed from 26 deliveries as Afghanistan, who would have also been out of the running for a semi-final spot came roaring back. England at one stage needed 17 from 14 balls with 3 wickets in hand, but they fell away. Jamie Overton hit to long on for 32. The side was dismissed eventually for 317, and they managed only singles from the first 4 balls as Adil Rashid was caught at long off the penultimate delivery as England were dismissed, as I mentioned, for 317. Earlier, Ibrahim Zadran from Afghanistan, now East, slammed one of the best innings you'll ever see in any form of cricket. 177 from 146 deliveries as the Afghans, who were 37 for 3 at one stage, managed 325 for 7. President of the Jamaica Boxing Board, Stephen Bomber Jones, and JOA boss Chris Samuda both welcomed the news that World Boxing has been granted provisional recognition as a sport international federation by the IOC. Boxing is not currently part of the program for Los Angeles 2028, and the creation of a new global body was the biggest hurdle to the sport's inclusion in the next Olympic Games. The IOC has run boxing at the past 2 Olympics after the International Boxing Association was suspended as a sports world governing body in 2019 over governance, finance, refereeing, and ethical issues. The Russian-led IBA was then stripped of its status in June of 2023 over a failure to implement set reforms. World Boxing was formed in April of 2023 and now has 78 members across 5 continents. Jones says now that the boxers can train with hope of boxing returning to the Olympic Games.
I think this means that boxing is back in the Olympics. Boxing being a pillar and always having been a pillar sport in the Olympics, it's inevitable that all the national federations, the amateur boxers that have been training, their biggest platform that you aim for is the Olympics. And so the idea that them not being able to aspire for that representation was a non-entity. So the fact that World Boxing came together and 78 national federations, including Jamaica, saw the writing on the wall, joined them, went through the due diligence to satisfy IOC, at least provisionally. Today is a big recognition day.
Stephen Bomber Jones, president of the Jamaica Boxing Board, and Samuda says World Boxing has provided a good governance structure.
There has to be certainty, particularly as the lives and livelihood of stakeholders and the aspirations of stakeholders, particularly boxers and their coaches, are dependent on unanimity and the disposition of decision makers of the sport. So this decision, though it may not be pleasant to some, will pave the way for greater policy consensus within the Olympic movement. The IOC had made it abundantly clear from the inception that governance and best practices informed its position on the matter, and they cannot be faulted at all for that.
And Samuda says the association has met several key criteria to merit provisional recognition.
The decision to support World Boxing is not surprising. World Boxing has promised a new day. There can be no shooting in the dark. They must now ensure that they deliver in inspiring confidence and in justifying the decision. I'm confident that they will.
GOA boss Chris Samuda. Finally in sports at this time, key figures in Formula One's governing body, the FIA, were barred from a meeting of the Association World Motorsport Council on Wednesday in a dispute with President Mohammed Ben Sulayem. Robert Reid, the FIA's deputy president for sport, and David Richards, the UK's representative, were among those denied access after refusing to sign a non-disclosure agreement. The document forbids members from discussing matters pertinent to the FIA outside official meetings. Insiders say Ben Sulayem demanded the new NDA, a stricter form of a document by which members were already bound because of his concerns about leaks to the media. Legal letters have been exchanged, and the dispute has raised questions as to whether decisions made by the World Council, including regarding rules for the forthcoming F1 season, will be legitimate. The most high profile of these was a confirmed adoption of a mandatory minimum of 2 pit stops at the Monaco Grand Prix. FIA statutes dictate members of the World Motorsport Council may attend any meeting and have the right to vote. That's sports.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:22.
Visit Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore, for all your prescription needs, gifts, personal care, household, and stationery items. The temperature by Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore is
28 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 27 in the western city, Montego Bay.
Attention! The NWC's amnesty package is here, overflowing with a bucket full of goodies from January 2 to March 31, 2025. Disconnected for over 6 months, residential customers can get a 50% write-off. Pensioners and past beneficiaries get a full write-off on balances over 2 years. Do you have outstanding debt between 90 days and 2 years due to an underground leak? You may qualify for a 25% concession. Plus, enjoy discounts from 30 to 50% depending on your arrears. So, don't delay. Let's hear from you today. Dial 888-225-5692 or 888-CALL-NWC. The NWC's Amnesty Package. Get your share from our bucket full of goodies. Conditions apply.
Outperform, outlast. With top performance. Chakama. Reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Pan select tools, free parts and free repairs. Free parts, free repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61114. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
Digicel, live life your way, no free what? Digicel postpaid. With Digicel postpaid, it's all about you. Sign up or pay your bills to stay active for a chance to win a luxurious all-expense paid trip for 2 to Royalton, Antigua. With round-trip flights on us, every week you could win exciting prizes. Event tickets, gym memberships, spa packages, excursion adventures, restaurant vouchers, and more. When you opt in on the My Digicel app, life your way starts now with Digicel. Better connected.
Promotion ends March 31. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
At Active Home Center, we've got everything you need to create that perfect spa retreat. From comfort height toilets to the widest selection in faucets and shower enclosures to stylish tubs and the latest trends in bathroom cabinets in various sizes. Our bathroom collection has the perfect fit for every space and every budget. Your relaxing retreat starts here. Visit our showroom in Kingston at 84 Compton Spring Road or Montego Bay at Barnett Tech Park. Active Home Center. More savings, more choices.
As we grow older, there are many challenges that we have to confront, but these years can represent the best in our lives. Coming of Age during Nationwide This Morning on Thursdays explores issues persons 50 and over confront. It also provides expert opinions on how we can improve the quality of our lives as we get older. That's Coming of Age, this and every Thursday during Nationwide This Morning at 6:51 a.m.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robian Williams. A special one to our friends over on our YouTube platform. Thank you so much for listening, for viewing, for watching. Yeah, we invite you to weigh in live in the comments section on today's Public Opinion. The country's Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP Paula Llewellyn, she has expressed concern that the pre-trial publicity surrounding the multi-million-dollar fraud at Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, could undermine the fairness of the impending trial. This as the country's two major political parties have been engaged in a public spat over which administration is to be blamed for failing to protect investors from several issues at the firm dating back to over a decade. Now, the sole person before the court is Jean Ann Panton, and she will appear next in court on March 20. So in Public Opinion this evening, we're asking, should the political parties tone down their rhetoric about the SSL fraud saga? Should they limit their discourse? Should they stop? All right. Let's see if we can get some of the comments on this. HM Queen is saying yes, allow the investigation and court proceedings to make the final call. One Empress is saying it's silly season and everything and anyone is prime for political football. Yeah. Author is saying that's authored by Dai or authored by Dai is saying no, just ensure that the truth is represented at all times by both. Rosemary says no more 9 days, keep the fire burning on SSL. Let me see. Weavon is saying definitely too much speculation. Yeah, too much speculation. Hay is also saying too much misinformation. Half-truths and lies are currently in the public space. So yes, the parties need to tone down the rhetoric and investigations be completed and the court matter ventilated. Yeah. Jamaica Till I Die says, are you people paying those 2 clown parties any mind? You all must be bored. All right. Softly saying tone it up instead of toning it down. And instead of toning down the rhetoric about the SSL fraud saga, Softly here is saying we should tone it up. Yeah. Roderick Cohen says they need to because it can affect the prosecution of the case. And remember, the prosecutioning of the case. He's saying, remember that the defense used that same tactics in the Vybz Kartel case when they use a blogger as a reference of talking point. The opposition knows this and they're hoping the case fail. All right. Katz is saying absolutely people's anguish should not be politicized. I actually think it's cruel and loose. Yeah, and it lose points in my book. On Facebook, to the question, should the political parties tone down their rhetoric about the SSL fraud saga, Maury McCarthy is saying sure, let the courts do their job. Maxine saying long time it is overridden, overbearing and has lost its appeal. By constantly rehearsing it, seem to suggest that they are incapable of thinking objectively and with a sense of maturity. All right. Isaac Curtis says the cultist party turn it into political football. Don't know who that is. You're referring to Isaac Morrison. George Elliott saying that there is only one party politicizing the issue, notwithstanding that they were in government when the fraud supposedly took place. The topic is only being used to deflect. Daphne McCreath is saying if they know how the money went missing, don't stop talking. But if they don't know how it gets missing, stop the barking because they have no bite, only pure bark. Yeah. On our this is X. Yeah, X. Dr. Proud Yardman says kinda sticky. It's kinda sticky. JLP has a responsibility to deny allegations being made by PNP. People will then get curious about the role each party play when they form government, as SSL is regulated by a state agency. Mrs. Dottiman is saying the PNP is using it as a campaign tool. It's not parties. Let me see. This became a political matter when the PNP made it one, says Shanae. Ash is saying yes, they should tone down the rhetoric. It is a bipartisan concern. There's no political advantage making promises about a legal and forensic issue that they have no control of. Bo Winkle is saying yes, tone it down and work together. Yeah, to find the people their money. All right. On our YouTube platform, let's see what's being said. Lily White is saying, oh yes, is not everything politics and politicians should involve in unless they're involved in SSL. Let me see if I can get in some more. Bold compromised the case, says Bonnie Williams. Yeah. Ken Youth says, I blame Golding. Kevin says, tone down or up. The fact is, it's a disgrace and Bolt need to get back his money. Not only Bolt, Kevin. Not only Bolt. Other investors too. Other investors indeed. Sandy believes that they should tone down the rhetoric. Yeah. Marcus the Best, I suspect the case against the woman is a bust. The prosecutors are a bunch. Wow. You're saying that the prosecutors are incompetent, Marcus the Best? Wow. All right, let me see if I can get in at least two more. Alvis says Bolt started it, so too Herman. Let me see. Jeffrey is saying this is sensitive. It's a sensitive matter and should not be escalated by politicians who should know better. But I guess they want to score political points. Disgusting. I will say one thing. Somebody said it for me and I will say it again. It's silly season. Yeah? And we all know what that means. And going closer and closer to the date, a lot of things will happen leading up to that day, D-Day. Yeah, that's all the time we have for Public Opinion. Thank you so much for participating. The Business Report is up next.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:33.
Annual eye examinations not only assess your vision but may be life-saving. Eye tests may detect serious health issues that go beyond your vision. Call IQ Optical to schedule your comprehensive eye test today. The temperature by IQ Optical is
28 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 27 out west in Montego Bay. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. Motorists should see a decrease at the pumps in the price of gasoline effective Thursday, February 27. That's tomorrow, and that's according to the latest ex-refinery costs from Petrojam. Both grades of gasoline, 87 octane and 90 octane, will go down by $1.77 per liter. Automotive diesel fuel will see a decrease of $1.47 per liter, and ultra-low sulfur diesel will go down by $1.44 per liter. Kerosene is to go down by $2.62 per liter. Meanwhile, propane liquid petroleum will go down by $1.51, and butane liquid petroleum will go down by $1.56 per liter. Further afield, U.S. President Donald Trump says he is planning to hit goods made in the European Union with tariffs of 25%, claiming the bloc was created to, quote, screw the United States. He told reporters, "We'll be announcing it very soon at an appearance with members of his cabinet. It will be 25% generally, and that will be on cars and all other things." The European Union said it would react firmly and immediately against unjustified tariffs. And finally, in the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 157 Jamaican dollars and 96 cents to buy $1 US. It cost 200 Jamaican dollars and 8 cents to buy $1 British pound, and 110 Jamaican dollars and 55 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. And that's the Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. Good evening.
Me grew up as my granny save her money under her mattress. But at an old time something. That's where I save my money in the bank. And because I want to buy a little house, I also save in a building society. We have to be smart with how we save our money.
So, what if the bank crash?
Well, that's where JDIC comes in. Make I tell you something. With the JDIC Deposit Insurance Scheme, once you save your money in a commercial bank, merchant bank, or building society, your deposit is covered up to a maximum of $1.2 million per depositor per financial institution if the institution fails. All the information that you need is available at jdic.org, and you can follow their social media platform for more information.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me. My Mega Mart, best value by far.
With so much to do in one location, make Megamart your one-stop shop. Pick up your groceries and houseware needs, grab a bite and pay some bills. Fill your prescriptions and see the beauty products in our pharmacy. All in one amazing location. My Megamart, the best value by far.
Calling all coffee lovers, the wait is over. The 8th annual Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival at Hope Gardens on Saturday, March 1, celebrating the world's finest Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee. Enjoy thrilling barista, mixologist showdown, interactive cooking and coffee demos, unique coffee-infused products, art and craft, mouth-watering food village, live entertainment, and so much more. 5,000 for adults, 3,000 for children 12 and under. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. For more details, follow the pages. The Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival is presented by the Ministry of Tourism and Tourism Enhancement Fund partners. See you there.
Get ready to receive your share of a bucket full of goodies from the NWC.
That's so nice, eh?
From January 2 to March 31, 2025, you could benefit from the debt amnesty.
Tell me more.
NWC has amnesty offers that include 50% write-offs, 100% on balances over 2 years, and 25 to 50% on balances depending on the age of the balance.
Who can qualify?
Practically anyone with arrears. If your residential account is disconnected for 6 months or more, you qualify. Or if you are a pensioner or path beneficiary with a balance over 2 years, you qualify. Plus, commercial and residential accounts with balances over 2 years also qualify for discounts. Call 888-225-5692. Check the NWC website or visit any NWC office today.
Good evening, listeners and viewers. It's 6:40 and it is time for the nation's business. I'm Siobhan Campbell.
And my name is Sanjay Lewis. So National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says majority of the criminals targeted by the police have been captured alive and are before the court. He made the comment amid public scrutiny by several groups on the number of police killings since January. Dr. Chang was speaking at the official opening of the Lacovia Police Station in St. Elizabeth on Wednesday.
And also, I don't know how some see it. We have well over 1,000 shootings in Jamaica annually. That means you have people going on with gun shooting. And when they have 1,000 shootings, sometimes some of the shooting is 12 guns. Anywhere from 1 to sometimes more. I represent a tough urban constituency, and I get the reports, and doctor, someone walked past the last night, 12 of them are rifle on them shoulder and everybody have a sidearm. So shooting all over the country. If the police is more equipped, has better intelligence, better training, and is now in a position to intercept the criminal, they're going to meet people with guns. What do you expect will happen? You're not sure you find it's people going out there with guns to kill people. The police, part of the responsibility of the police that we are charging them with. We give them the tools, we change the legislation to make it, if you find with an illegal gun, we put you away for a long time. So we're discouraging people to find illegal guns. Whether they have it for sale, if they catch them at the wharf with it, we charge them. We lock them for a long time. So we are taking steps to encourage, or should I say, to dissuade those from carrying illegal guns. But them carrying plenty. And part of the police job is to develop the intelligence to find them, identify them early before they shoot somebody. And as the commissioner say, he will indicate some of the names. If they want to come in, we will take them into court. And in that justice, we have a good justice system. And the police prepare the case well, they go to court. And in fact, the police prefer that. So do me as minister, and so as the government. We're not out there training anybody to kill anybody for the sake of extradition, whatever it is. We want to carry them to court. We want them to stop shooting. That's the first thing. So we create the law to deter. And if they stop shooting, they go about their business. If they carry a legal gun, we find them. And we'll find them. The police have not only got better stations, better cars, better communication, and more manpower and woman power, if you say so. Deputy Commissioner carrying the hood Powell or Jack Deputy. But it has some very bright Jamaicans and developed some their policy, their programs, excellent programs. So they have good intelligence, good operations. They're going to find the criminal. And if they find a criminal gun, they're going to be a shootout. I've said it over and over, saying that news again. I don't expect that police to get hurt. And they're bright, responsible Jamaicans committed to making this country a better place and to bring public safety. And your country has invested in them too, and they have invested in themselves to train them and to have them ready. So, if one have to go down, the criminal will go down. As simple as that. And if their meeting is common sense that if the police have better intelligence, are better equipped, and are on the road more, they're going to have more engagement. 50 police shooting in that same police out there chasing down in the one man to shoot down somebody. It means the police is in a position to engage criminals, and if you have more engagement, you're going to have more shooting. If they surrender, they'll take them to the court. I've been told by the commissioner that the majority of targets are in fact before the courts. But there are those who choose to take on the police, and we have had that. But it's not only that there are 50, they refer to 50 fatal shooting at the police and call it extrajudicial, like police shoot on people. This month, at the rate you're going, you'll have the lowest number of murders in Jamaica for the last 25 years and more. That didn't come about by policemen sitting in the desk because they have a new office and they look comfortable and cool and them sit down and enjoy it. When the air conditioner work, they enjoy your condition unit. It didn't come about accusing police officers to go off to look for them girlfriend when they're supposed to be on patrol. That's not happening. The police officers are working. They're out there in the hot spots. They are monitoring areas. I see sometime ACP Allen in particular sending some requests for curfews in some rural areas, which in the old days you drive and park your car and leave the windows open. And I know he was doing it based on intelligence, and therefore we can look at this era today. I think St. Elizabeth only has one homicide for the whole month, for the whole year. And the numbers in Manchester, Clarendon, and St. Elizabeth are remarkably down because the leadership in those parishes are utilizing the tools the government has provided effectively and doing their job to create a safer place and maintain public order. I want to commend the Commissioner and the team, and in particular, you're a trio here today, so that this investment, the taxpayer can look and say, it is working well.
That is Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang. A minute before that, we said something that several groups have brought the police killing since January under scrutiny. Actually, no, it's just one specific group, that is Jamaicans for Justice. So just a clarification there. It's not several groups, just one particular organization. Well, we'll have more from Dr. Chang after these messages.
Yeah, here? If you're tired of a cluttered office space, then you need to call Corporate Interiors International. We offer top quality industrial shelving, filing cabinets, and storage cabinets to keep your workspace organized and efficient, plus comfortable office chairs that will keep your team productive and focused. Visit us today at corporateinteriorsjm.com or call us at 876-630-0010 for more information. Corporate Interiors International. We sell solutions, not just furniture.
This time signal is sponsored by Janet Global Accreditation, an agency of the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. The time is now.
It's 14 minutes to 7.
Jamaica, let's spread the word around to let the world know that we are proud to be one republic. We on the road to republic. Well then, let's propel we nation moving forward in a new direction. True independence, that's the projection. No more dependency, it's the best plan. Yes, we know what's best for us, cause we want we country prosperous. So make we just pull together as the general public while on the road to republic. Jamaica, let's spread the word around to let the world know that we are proud to be one republic. We on the road to republic.
A message from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
We on the road to republic.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to the nation's business. We're hearing words from Dr. Horace Chang. He was speaking at a reopening of a police building, yes, in Lacovia, and he was addressing some of the recent controversy surrounding police fatal killings. As you know, Jamaicans for Justice, the human rights lobby group, has expressed concern at the rising number of fatal police shootings since the start of the year. 54 people have been killed by the police in confrontations. The most recent incident took place on Wednesday morning in Mollison district near Christiana, Manchester. Last week, JFJ condemned the police killings, noting that at least one Jamaican citizen is killed daily by the security forces. However, Dr. Chang says the government has a plan to address crime in the country.
The event this morning is to reopen that new building, which is now the central part of the police station in Lacovia, and also we have the refurbished one behind us, which was the original location of the police station, the original police station. But it reflects not only an expansion, but the development of what the Commissioner expressed as a purpose-built station. This government set out a planned program to develop the police force. There was called at some time, where's your plan? Because the country got used to the idea that you organize a squad of police officers, give them some name, I remember some of them, and find a star-boy police officer, put on the road, and ask him to go shoot some star criminals. And that was the plan. It was, of course, it had no planning, and it did not reflect any serious attempt at dealing with criminal organizations. Because why do you take out a single criminal leader and oftentimes after the police team removes the primary target, there's talk of police extrajudicial activity because they have to chase down gunmen, you know. Of course, I cannot understand when there's complaints by certain elements in society. Because when a policeman faces a gunman, when he faces a man with a gun shooting at him, what he should do? I asked him what he should do because in that some man coming, the good book says, take a box, and if you box you and say, you can turn the other cheek. But the one thing that a gun does, is only one thing a gun is good for, is to kill somebody. A knife's a dangerous weapon, but you use knives for all kinds of things. Cutting instrument can be used to carve, used in kitchen, all kinds. But when you pull the trigger on a gun, the missile only does one thing. It kills. And you cannot ask a police officer to, when they're out there shooting, somebody will get killed. If they are shot at, they have to reply. I was going to point out that organizing a squad of police officers, because they are not provided tools, neither legally, logistical, physical, to just track down to establish a policy, the change and development of any institution. And certainly the police force, which has an establishment of 14,000, is one of our largest institutions and has a major responsibility as the primary law enforcement agency to develop that institution. And in doing that, you have to put the money in place to execute the plan. There is a well-known politician, late, I missed him now, former Prime Minister, who once said, it takes cash to care. It takes cash to develop an effective law enforcement agency which can deal with the organized criminals in this country who are heavily financed. They have money. They are smart, they have guns, and they will do anything to undermine the society, earn more money, and create chaos and kill our people. We therefore decide that not only it would happen, and will not allow it to continue happening, we do the required investment, the required planning and investment to strengthen our police force and give them the capacity to deal with the criminals. Today I'm not here to shout victory, but I think everyone, every Jamaican can look at the police force today and take pride in the character of the police force that we have, even at this time.
You know, Siobhan, Dr. Chang is right, because we know that these gangs are heavily financed, and the police, they must get the resources, they must get that investment. And when I hear him talk about, specialized groups, I can go as far back as a group that Renato Adams at the time led, where it was the belief that you send a police squad to kill off a few people and the matter is resolved. And we have really seen a shift in how the police force go about doing their business, go about doing the work, and the technology that is being utilized and the investment. We're seeing the investment in the police force, which is necessary. And I remember also a politician once said, you're not gonna see any drastic change in crime until a number of years. And we're seeing changes happening and it's slowly building. And I mean, that's the only way to go right now.
I agree, Sanjay. As you said, we've seen a year-on-year reduction, and
yes,
I always say, knock on wood, hopefully this will be the third year of reductions in those homicide figures that we've suffered from here in the country. And I think you see a change in the temperament of the public in terms of their attitude towards the police now, where there seems to be a greater level of respect and trust in the police force, and I enjoy seeing it. It seems that we're generally turning the corner now on this crime situation that we have suffered under for decades, going back into the 1980s, I believe. And I'm happy to see it. I understand JFJ's concerns regarding what they believe to be extrajudicial killings, but I leave that to the organizations such as Indicom to prove and sift through which ones are genuinely what they would consider malfeasance on the part of the police versus what are just standard operating procedures where the police are engaged by criminal elements with high-powered rifles and they're forced to return fire. And as Dr. Chang has said, as the Prime Minister has said, when you put the police in that situation, I am not going to pray for anybody but the police to win.
Yeah, exactly. And the police commissioner also hinted at it, and he indicated also that Indicom has his full support. We have mechanisms in place to deal with officers who go rogue. So we should allow the officers to do what they have to do. And where there are issues, where officers go rogue, we also have a process to deal with those individuals. But we just have to have faith in the system. But anyways, Dr. Chang is also seeking to assure Jamaicans that the government will continue to invest in the JCF so that ordinary citizens can feel safe.
And it had to come about by proper planning. The very uniform which I admired by the public. This commissioner today, who was then deputy commissioner, did almost a year of research looking at police uniforms, what is required, and designed the police uniform that the police is wearing today. Nothing that the police is doing did not come from proper planning and well thought out research. I commend the team in the police force. The police stations we build, the commissioner used the term purpose built, because they thought that when you run into a crisis in a community, a couple criminals show up, rob the district shop, maybe shoot somebody, and get away with it and run around and keep creating mayhem. And when they rob a place and they don't get apprehended, they keep coming back, looking for more money. So you find a building that at that time when you find it, it's not leaking, and it has some rooms, and you paint it blue and white and call it a police station. That was the policy we inherited. And I decided, in concert with the commissioner, and inform my Prime Minister, we need a police station. If we go to provide health service in a community, we build a clinic. As a physician, I'm aware, you design a clinic to have the appropriate interview room, to have the appropriate examination room, proper waste disposal, etc. We design a clinic for a doctor. When we want to attack the education issue, we build a school and we put trained teachers in good schools and ensure they have the tools of instruction. And we have a way to go with all that, but we build schools for teachers. And why not build police stations for police officers? Police officers are professionals. Every single member of the police agency out there in their new uniform, or if they are not even in uniform, are highly trained individuals, bright young Jamaicans, educated and committed to law enforcement. It is a critical service in our country. And that's how we approach the issue. All aspects of the security work we had to put in a plan, and then we had to have the commitment to continue investing. To come here today is a particular pleasure to me because not only because it's a new station, but I can say to the country, to you here, and those who are listening, that the government's commitment to security and to providing good order and public safety continues whatever the time is. Because we all know what time of election cycle here is. And we are continuing to investing in our security force to ensure that can be good order and public safety. We do a lot of other things, you know, and we have to. It's normal in a democracy. We're going to do things that will make some people feel nice. But we're not going to do anything to make any criminal feel nice. We're not going to encourage anything. There'll be no disorder whether they wear green shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt, orange shirt, or no shirt at all. If they give problem, the police have instruction and find them, get them off the street. And our commitment is to provide the police with the tools required.
That's Dr. Horace Chang, the Minister of National Security. However, Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake also spoke at the function, and he's commending the leadership of the St. Elizabeth Police Division and the Area 3 Police in general for an 80% reduction in murders. Up to February 22, the division recorded 1 murder. This is in comparison to the 5 murders recorded for the same period last year.
Let this facility stand not only as a symbol of a police station, but as a beacon of progress, dedication, and hope. However, this progress would not be possible without a strong, enduring partnership between the police and the citizens of Lokovia. Together, we will continue to forge a path of safety and security for all. Ladies and gentlemen, this new station opens at a pivotal time in our fight for public safety. Not too long ago, St. Elizabeth was grappling with a disturbing surge in violent crime, including a 100% increase in murders earlier last year. But thanks to the strong, steady leadership of Superintendent Coleridge Minto and his dedicated team in the St. Elizabeth Division, and with the strategic guidance of Area 3 Commander ACP Calvin Allen, we have seen a remarkable turnaround. By the end of last year, the murder rate had dropped by 20%. And today, we are witnessing an 80% reduction in murders, along with a 20% decrease in shootings. And ladies and gentlemen, these results are not mere coincidence. They are the product of strategic, proactive policing, relentless operations, and steadfast leadership of our officers. Across the entire parish, major crimes have fallen by 14%, and with the opening of this new police station, the JCF is now even better equipped to build on these hard-earned gains and continue to advance our mission of keeping the people of Jamaica safe. To my esteemed colleagues in the St. Elizabeth Division, while we celebrate the progress we've made, let us not for a moment grow complacent. We know that crime is a dynamic, ever-evolving threat, and we must remain vigilant and unyielding in our efforts to protect our communities. And I say this without hesitation. We will not surrender our homes, our businesses, or our communities to criminals. There are those who seek to destabilize and terrorize law-abiding citizens of this nation, but the JCF will always stand firm as a barrier between them and our people. We remain resolute in our mission to locate, disrupt, and dismantle the criminal networks that seek to spread fear and chaos across Jamaica. I urge every resident of Lokovia to stand united in the fight against crime, being tolerant to criminality in all its forms. Work alongside us, support your local police, and together we will continue to keep this community safe. Together we will drive down crime even further and build a Jamaica where peace, security, and security are the foundation upon which our citizens can thrive.
That's Dr. Kevin Blake. He's the Commissioner of Police. Both he and Dr. Chang were speaking at the official opening of the Lokovia Police Station in St. Elizabeth on Wednesday. Well, listeners, we will have more after this, but first, after the breaks, The Watchman.
Jamaica's Spark program is investing $45 billion to improve roads, water, and telecom. Better infrastructure for a better future. The time by Spark is...
It's 7:02.
The Watchman. Exploring issues shaping our society, government, and business. Provocative, unconventional. Dr. Henley Morgan is The Watchman.
Good evening. Trying to understand Donald Trump's game plan. The widely circulated picture of Donald Trump's hatchet man, Elon Musk, mockingly masquerading at the conservative right-wing CPAC conference, chainsaw in hand, symbolizing gutting of the departments of the federal government in an unprecedented cost-cutting exercise, gives rise to this question. Is Donald Trump a disruptor, or is he merely disruptive? A disruptor is generally defined as someone who boldly and with disdain for the status quo turns over the proverbial apple cart, the bureaucracy, which has become a feeding tree for corrupt politicians and their lazy sycophants at taxpayers' expense. The word first gained popularity and credence in the corporate world to describe companies and inventors pursuing a better deal for customers under the mantra, not business as usual, business unusual. One of the earliest actions taken by Trump on assuming the presidency for the second time was to establish the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE for short. He appointed Elon Musk, the world's richest man and the biggest funder of his re-election campaign, to be its head. Elon Musk's chainsaw approach to cutting the federal government down to its size includes shuttering agencies, defunding programs, and firing government employees in droves without explanation or notice. This slash and burn approach to restructuring organizations and increasing efficiency never has and never will work. After a few glaring errors, such as firing and then having to rehire employees with institutional knowledge and special skills, the approach has been modified. All federal workers must justify their employment or resign. A little better, but still fraught with danger. The most workable approach to institutional reform is to be found in the most unlikely of places, the Bible. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 10, King James Version, reads thus: I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down and to destroy, to build and to plant. End of reading from the scripture. The easy part is rooting out, pulling down, and destroying. It is much harder to build and to plant. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a big fall. Will Trump, Musk, and their cheering supporters be able to put Humpty Dumpty together again? That is the question. If Trump is able to successfully perform this feat, he will go down in history as the greatest of disruptors. If he's not, he will be remembered as being disruptive. A childlike person who threatens and intimidates others and mash up things without adding any value. Think on these things.
Produced by Agency for Inner City Renewal, AIR, and recorded in the Jamming Studio Trenchtown, a breath of fresh air bringing change to the inner city.
Yeah, here? If you're tired of a cluttered office space, then you need to call Corporate Interiors International. We offer top quality industrial shelving, filing cabinets, and storage cabinets to keep your workspace organized and efficient. Plus, comfortable office chairs that will keep your team productive and focused. Visit us today at corporateinteriorsjm.com or call us at 876-630-0010 for more information. Corporate Interiors International. We sell solutions, not just furniture.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to the Nation's Business. We're into the third and final hour, and we are now going to turn to something quite different. Nationwide released its newest docu-feature, Rio Saving Our Environment, on Monday. Rio Hotel and Resorts has partnered with the Montego Bay Marine Park Trust to educate the public about the dwindling population of the parrotfish and how it affects the country. Here is that feature.
Welcome to Montego Bay, beautiful Jamaica. This is one of the most beautiful parts of this wonderful country, known for fantastic properties, pristine beaches, and warm and friendly people. But like so many parts of Jamaica, Montego Bay is facing a huge environmental problem. The overfishing of the parrotfish emerges as a major environmental problem in Jamaica. Parrotfish play a critical role in maintaining reef health. So says Executive Director of the Montego Bay Marine Park Trust, Hugh Shim.
Parrotfish are important for conservation because they clean the reefs, they make sand, and they also provide food for us to eat.
The parrotfish, a vibrant and colorful species, is hugely popular with seafood lovers across the island.
Parrotfish are being hunted, meaning Jamaicans love parrotfish. So everybody wants to have a parrotfish. So what tends to happen is that they get overfished.
Due to overfishing, parrotfish is on the decline in Jamaican waters. That's why Rio Hotels and Resorts have stepped in. Their corporate social responsibility coordinator, Christina Campbell, says the resort is sponsoring 4 non-profit organizations in Jamaica, an investment of over $200,000. The Montego Bay Marine Park Trust is one of the beneficiaries.
Rio Hotels is trying to foster greater community relationships by sponsoring different non-government organizations. One of them is the Marine Park.
What Rio Alliance has done is they have assisted us by funding our enforcement efforts, in other words, to control overfishing. Because if people keep on destroying the parrotfish, meaning eating them, shooting them out, catching them in pots, catching them in nets, then the population goes down and the parrotfish cannot reproduce. If they don't reproduce, then you have less parrotfish, and therefore the reefs will suffer.
Rio Hotels and Resorts is a global hospitality company with a very strong presence in Jamaica. But what sets Rio apart is its dedication to giving back. The Parrotfish Conservation Project is among Rio's flagship initiatives. Parrotfish is crucial to maintaining the health of Jamaica's coral reefs, but their population is on the decline due to overfishing.
The parrotfish plays a vital role in the ecosystem. One such role is the preservation of our coral reefs, and the coral reefs is important for the production of sand. So with the Marine Park taking this initiative to increase its population, we're not only strengthening the ecosystem, but we're also preserving the natural habitat for the fishes. The parrotfishes as well are very instrumental in the production of sand, which we all know the golden sandy beaches of Jamaica are one of the major selling points for the tourism industry. So we ought to take care of the resources that provide for us.
So what Rio Alliance has done, they are helping us to fund putting on extra patrols, meaning rangers, extra shifts, night and day, to ensure that there is no illegal fishing in 2 areas. We also have a research component where we go out and actually count parrotfish every 3 months to see how the population is doing as part of our intervention. We also have a public education campaign which we are saying wanted alive. The more parrotfish we have alive, then the more they can breed. And we are encouraging fishermen to allow the parrotfish to grow to a mature size. Don't get them when they're young, at least, because we can't really, there's no ban on parrotfish. So we're just trying to encourage like the fisher folks and the consumers to only partake of the mature parrotfish.
But can officers attached to the Montego Bay Marine Park Trust arrest anyone?
Yeah, well, we can seize their equipment and we can take them to the police. And we have fishing wardens, some of our rangers are wardens, and so they can be arrested and charged.
According to Mr. Shim, those found guilty of fishing illegally can be fined millions of dollars.
The fines for illegal fishing can go up to $5 million, but it depends on what the judge thinks, because some of those fines really are geared towards commercial fishing, like on Pedro Keys and those places. So they probably don't get fined more than, I would say, about $20,000.
Illegal fishers are sly and hard to catch, but the team at the Montego Bay Marine Park Trust is vigilant and determined to thwart their efforts.
We have 3 sites that we actually check, meaning Dr. Cave Reef and down by Seawind Keys. So we'll go out there and count the parrotfish that are there, then go back in another 3 months to see if there's an increase. And there are many other factors other than overfishing that would cause parrotfish or any kind of fish population to go up and down. But so far, it seems as if at least it's working, it's stable.
Humans apart, parrotfish are also at risk from the invasive lionfish. The team at the Montego Bay Marine Park Trust is removing the lionfish from the areas with a heavy population of parrotfish under a campaign they call Eat It to Beat It.
In the year 2, we have added another component to the project, which is the removal of lionfish in the sites where the parrotfish are. As some people know, the lionfish consumes a lot of juvenile fish. Crabs, lobster, you name it, they eat it. And they really don't have any natural predators. And the way how they sneak up and attack the smaller fish, they can't escape. So one of the reasons why the parrotfish population would be reduced is because the lionfish are eating them. So what we have done this year is to add what they call culling of the lionfish. So we would go, say, once every 2 weeks and try to shoot all the lionfish and encourage people to eat them. So we're going to try to have another Eat It to Beat It campaign.
The National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, reported a 66% reduction in sightings of the ferocious Pacific lionfish in Jamaican waters in 2024.
Well, this is a campaign that actually started about 6 years ago in Jamaica, where people are made aware that the lionfish are not poisonous. Once you remove the spines, just like a soursop fish or anything, the lionfish are very fleshy and it almost tastes like grouper. So we're encouraging people to consume more lionfish and less parrotfish.
Shark is lionfish, yeah.
An education campaign undertaken by the Montego Bay Marine Park Trust and funded by Rio Resorts is on the way to raise awareness about the importance of the lionfish.
Our main campaign is through social media, through our pages, our platforms, our YouTube, our Instagram, and our website. We also do a lot of programs with schools. A lot of schools come here. As you see, this is actually a classroom that you're sitting in now. And that's why we have the TV for the presentations and everything. So when the schools come, we actually tell them about the parrotfish and what they need to do. So the campaign is personal as well as through social media.
Beaches continue to be degraded, and some are even disappearing in countries regionally and across the world. Overfishing is cited among the main reasons.
All around the Caribbean and the world, it's basically a combination of things. The main one being the destruction of the reefs, and many things can cause the reefs to die. Climate change being one of them, because the water is too hot. So as you know, coral reefs are living things, and living things need specific conditions to thrive. So if it's too hot, then the corals will die. If there's too much pollution, meaning runoffs and so forth, then they will die as well. Also, you might have storms. We have had a few hurricanes which will break up the reefs. So, and we have pollution from off the shore, not only in the sea, with plastics in particular, and things like fertilizers running off, chlorine and so forth. So that causes the reefs to die. And if the reefs get smaller, because the reefs act as a buffer. Like when you get storm surges, the reef break the waves. So if the reef is not there to break the waves, then it's just going to take the sea out, the shoreline away.
We can see the shoreline eating away within the Montego Bay Marine Park. Many will remember the impact of the damage in February 2024 to the Pier 1 attraction, a landmark in the tourism mecca. The CEO of Pier 1, Jason Russell, said freak storms are becoming even more common.
Last year, February, we got a storm that I think comes around maybe every 20 years. So the last time I've seen the sea get that rough was maybe 2002. Last year was a little bit worse than that year.
If you go down to the corner, you will see where the entire shoreline was eaten away. The large boulders were all washed away. The sea came up through here and went straight through the parking lot. It came over in the bar down at Pier 1. The waves came over the bar, right? And you had water in here in the parking lot from which you came up to your knee in February.
We lost basically half of the deck. Structurally it became unsound to use, so we had to demo a building that we had as a meeting room. We also lost a lot of the shoreline, the actual boulders that is a revetment that keep the shores secure. So we've had to buy boulders and replace, and now we're in the process of rebuilding the foundation of the building itself to come up. So it's been quite an extensive work. We're now exactly a year, and we're just finally getting to a place where we can come back to some normalcy.
Rio's goal is clear: be better protectors of the environment.
Well, first is definitely to become better stewards of the environment and to take care of the surroundings and the habitats around us. Seeing that, of course, we do displace some natural ecosystems by the building of our hotels.
Rio is also committed to cleaning up beaches and promoting healthy mangroves.
Another part of this initiative is not just to focus on the parrotfishes, but also to clean the areas in which these fishes live.
Also, we do have a commitment from them to allow their staff to be engaged in the program.
The staff are also encouraged to engage in our projects in different ways. So one way that the Marine Park utilizes our staff is to have them come in and do beach cleanups. And they're actually very excited to do it. You know, they come from work, we all partner, we go to different areas, we do beach cleanups, we also take the plastics and we try to see if they can also be recycled. So this project has many different branches in which we're trying to help the environment in every identifiable way.
The program also helps staff to understand the importance of the parrotfish, especially those staff members engaged in water sports.
Apart from students, what we would do, we would love especially the tourism and hotel workers, people who work in water sports, to become aware of the importance of the parrotfish, so they can support by saying, okay, I'm not going to eat the small ones anymore. So, because if there's a demand, you know, if people are eating the small ones, the fisherman will bring a small one to you. But if you start saying, no, I just want the big one, I'm not going to eat parrot again for now, I'm going to eat lionfish instead, then we can get the public support.
Montego Bay Marine Park Trust is in its second year undertaking the project.
It's a 3-year project because, like any marine intervention program, it's not going to happen in 1 year because every year is different, right? Some years you have hurricanes, sometimes you don't. You have cold spells and so forth. So it's a 3-year project, and so far they have been very good in sending us. I believe it's about $3.5 million per year.
The team here they have exceeded, all the goals we have sent out for them. They're doing really well. Their reporting is done quarterly, and we have never had any issues with them. They're one of our strongest projects, and we really look forward to collaborating with them for the years to come.
Yeah, I would like to say thank you to RIO for their support, because they have been very generous. And I don't know, probably some people watching will know how difficult it is to get funding from anywhere. As a matter of fact, when the time comes for a proposal, it can become so tedious. So by the time you are to meet all the requirements to apply for the proposal, you don't qualify. But I can say that RIO made it very easy for us to qualify, and they were funding the things that we asked them to fund.
Excavators in the background working to fix a problem that man created. We urge you to take the requisite action to protect our coral reefs, to protect our beaches, to protect the parrotfish. Future generations are depending on us to leave some of this pristine beauty for them to enjoy. At the current rate, we're not doing well. And pretty soon, we won't have much, if any, of this left to marvel at, to stand and relax in front of. Conservation is the watchword. That's what we have the power and the smarts to do. The human environment depends on a healthy marine environment. If you degrade the marine environment, the human environment will go whoosh.
An excellent feature there by our team here at Nationwide News in partnership with the Montego Bay Marine Park and the RIO Hotels and Resorts. If you want to watch it again, you can find it on our Nationwide TV YouTube channel. But listeners, it's time for your calls. The numbers are 630-937-124 and 618-8255. Come chat with us after this break.
Taboo topics, bulletins after dark,
riveting discussions,
celebrity news and interviews,
topics that are shunned by society,
and everything else in between.
Boyatings After Dark with Kareem Boyatings, each and every Wednesday, 8 to 11 p.m.
Boyatings After Dark.
No topic is too taboo or hard to discuss. Come get your mind blown and your curiosity explored.
Boyatings After Dark.
As we grow older, there are many challenges that we have to confront, but these years can represent the best in our lives. Coming of Age during Nationwide This Morning on Thursdays explores issues persons 50 and over confront. It also provides expert opinions on how we can improve the quality of our lives as we get older. That's Coming of Age, this and every Thursday during Nationwide This Morning at 6:51 a.m.
Welcome back, listeners, to Nationwide at 5. We were into the third and final hour, more accurately the last half hour, which we're dedicating to your calls. The numbers are 630-937-124 and 618-8255. We have Richie on the line. Good evening.
Good evening,
Good
Richie.
evening, Mr. Shaban.
Good evening, Richie.
I'm Sanjay.
How you doing, Richie?
Me good, man. You know, say you guys' name are almost similar, though.
Well, one is
So
with a C and one with a S.
But at least they sound alike.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm talking about Peter Bunting.
Yes.
He said he's going to meet with Indicom to talk about the police extradition, killing with people in the country. But I want to ask him, how did he allow gangs to reach to 300 and yet in the country? That he himself brought for divine intervention. I come back in those days. We as citizens always said, we need to, everybody needs to have a good this country. That's how crime was, So it is just said now, where, as a matter of fact, gun for drugs trade run away, extortion run away under his work as a national security minister. And now he's talking about he's going to meet with Indicom. I believe Peter Bunting Israelis did these things deliberately because he said Jamaica is a PNP country, So when I put all these things together, I am saying that he deliberately did these things. That's what it sounds to me, Because
he deliberately did what?
No. Get the point. How these things happen in the country under his watch, and then come to say Jamaica is a PNP country. Oh, it sounds to me. Whenever you understand me saying, brother, these things happen under Peter Bunting watch, and it comes to say Jamaica is a PNP. That means say he allowed these things to happen deliberately, and now the gangs coming down from 380 to 140 and coming down. The lowest crime rate ever. And him about to say, well, then him meet with him come to do what? Peter Bunting tell me, Me don't know, in the really whole thing that no, but when they say that take water, I'll turn my head totally. When I first time I said to you, brother,
I hear you.
Now different kind of ways. Peter Bunting is supposed to come and tell if a policy my plane about come with it. We're not going to accept you the Peter Bunting. You need to come and compare what we keep begging you to do every day, more and more. We don't come with some plans to what we can do to help the country, but no win the election account because we don't say we're not going to win it at all costs. With the politics not going to play, we don't come with something, we want to hear something positive from you. That what we're going to do to help the people in the country. That's why you're
Richie, I will just say, Richie, I will point you to a 2015 statement by Peter Bunting when they were reviewing the Indicom Act, along with then Justice Minister Mark Golding, who both suggested that Indicom needed some form of oversight body to look into its operations. And I just say that it's funny how times change. And I don't think I'll say any more on the matter than that. It's funny how times change and statements shift over periods of time in terms of when people stand in terms of their political fortunes.
Brother, but you know my problem, dear brother. The people need to come with some plan and tell people what the people that them leading and misleading, what they're going to do to help them when they win election and then keep playing politics and leading and misleading the people the same way. And what they're doing, they might try to take all Jamaicans as fools. You know what I'm saying? These things that Peter Bunting let happen into this country. In belief that we feel it, we're going to take them as 90 wonder. We're not going to take them as 90 wonder, Peter Bunting. We're not forget about them.
No, but it's not something they can forget. Jamaicans have to live with the reality of crime on a daily basis, So I think any time when we can now see that there is tangible benefits, tangible gains in terms of the crime fighting, we should all be on board. I think at the end of the day, we should just all be on board.
You see, like Michael Jackson, you know one thing I agree with her? They need to have the cameras. I'm agreeing with it. Because at that time, it's like a police can't kill a man illegally. Mm-hmm. I'm agreeing with her with that. But the criminals, they're so brazen, brother. You know, other day, me heard a call out for a wanted man to come in. You know the name of the man? Bloodstain. You hear me say? Bloodstain.
And you can only imagine how you got that nickname.
Exactly.
Then me hear the man named Bloodstain. That no means the man is a outright criminal.
But you know, Richie, I agree with you that there is need for the body cameras, and I think the police commissioner, he also alluded to it, that he's not against it at all. So there's a need for it, and I think more so to protect the police when they carry out their duties, because many times you will hear individuals complain that the police use excessive force, and the cameras will be utilized to prove whether this is so or not. So it is more for the police officers, I would think, to protect them when they're going about doing their duties. And I don't think the police commissioner is in disagreement for the need for the body cameras.
We all know that police have ways of killing people and plant guns and them, you know. There's a fact we know about those things, but we just want to it is to be right. But believe me, the criminals out there are so brazen. Listen, man. You know, so one time the criminals then kill people at night. Then kill a broad daylight now. Then kill pregnant mothers. Then kill babies. Then kill whole woman. Then kill her. Well, let them do again. The boys them know say when them go on the street, you know, the police know them, you know. Everybody know them. So them you think them have them gone? And when it come to them meet with the police, you think them are go down there. Them are decide to carry one with me, or some of them with me, you know. Yeah. And the police have right to kill them when they get them in that way, because this side them kill them. The police have to come up and make them kill them. Kill them first. A man who see alive I win, I know.
Mm-hmm. Which is why the police commissioner indicated that he's not training his officers to lose. If individuals are willing to comply and they come in and surrender, then fine. But of course, the officers must, and they have a responsibility to protect themselves.
Yes. But may I say again, brother, the criminals they need to know so they behave themselves. If they can't behave themselves, them go to the grave.
Richie,
and I'm in support of the police to kill them when they go that way.
Richie, I hear you know, and we have to take some other calls, but and I got this from a senior law enforcement officer who said it cannot be that when we spend billions of dollars to get a better investigating and finding criminals, only to confront them in their nooks and crannies and then lose. These are men who kill their enemies, friends, and family members with impunity. I literally heard a lady saying her son told her he would murder her, his mother.
Exactly.
You think he wasn't going to shoot at us when we confront him?
Can you imagine?
So that's from a senior member. That's from a senior member of the JCF, and I cannot disagree with that sentiment.
Mr. I mentioned it about. Listen to me so again. May I turn on this thing other day and I didn't get an answer. How much police that police that in the confine guilty of killing these people? You can't tell me.
Well, I spoke with Indicom and they said it was less than 10%. It was a very low figure. They said comparative to the amount of investigation, then it's been a very, very low actual convictions. But Richie, we have to take some other callers. All right. All right. We're going up another break, listeners, and we'll come back with your calls.
Apply for your Sagicor Bank Preferred Prepaid MasterCard today. Load your remittances for everyday spending. Receive cash transfers from any local bank. The time by Sagicor Bank is
7:34. Welcome back, listeners. As I said, we're taking your calls. The numbers are 630-9371-4 and 618-8255. Bobby, you're on the line.
Good evening, Chevron. Good evening, Sandra.
Good evening, Bobby.
Yes, I must commend Nationwide a while ago to bring that that program about the environment and the parrotfish. Yes. You know, it is a good thing that we protect our environment. And as a man who involved in agriculture, you know, I know what it is like when you protect the environment, especially our coral reefs and so on. I just want to commend the police because, you know, if crime trend down, you know, we as citizens must give the police all the thumbs up, you know, because, you know, if we don't do that, it is like, you know, they are out there working so hard and their work is in vain. But, you know, I must commend Dr. Kevin Blake and his hard-working team, especially the police over in St. Catherine North Division and their divisional commander, you know, SSP Hopton Nicholson and Corporal Fennell, Constable Clark, you know, and quite a few of them, you know, Sergeant Walker. You know, I don't want, and also my school resource officer who serve at my school, you know, Constable Robinson, right, you know. But I don't really want to get myself in trouble by calling a number of names, because if I should do that, boy, I tell you, it will take the whole night. But they are doing a good job, you know, because I've seen crime and murders go down drastically in the division, and they are doing an excellent job. And finally, I just want to say to you all, do you know that the PNP sent out their manifesto a long time ago? Yes, they give Jamaicans their plan if they should form the next government, what they are going to do to Jamaica. But I don't know how you people hear it and you all don't pay no mind.
Come again?
Yes.
You believe we ignore it? We ask them these questions all the time, and sometimes they give answers, and sometimes they simply, as Damian Crawford puts up for a silly statement saying that we're not going to say it right now until election is closer because they're afraid the government will steal. But no. We put that question to them all the times. How do you intend to do or go about what you say you're going to do? We do this all the time.
Well, the fact is, Siobhan, I can tell you the Jamaicans know their plans for Jamaica if they win the next general election. And do you know is what?
What's that?
At this very moment, I've heard a few things from a few people in terms of their plans, but in the two most prominent cases, it was essentially withdrawn at the later date by the PNP's General Secretariat.
No, make I tell you is what? They plan to tax out the lifeblood of Jamaican people and leave us on our face and let us look through our nose. That is their plans they have for Jamaica. And we all hear it. And their own General Secretary is trying to go around the bush, you say, when questions has been thrown to him. So you tell me something now. So Jamaicans, they are not like the people in America. They hear what Trump planned for them, for the country, and them still vote for him. Well, we here, we the citizens of Jamaica, hear what is the plans for PNP, and the citizens will send them a clear message. Because look here, 8 consecutive years under this Andrew Holness administration and no new taxes. The Holness administration give back people income tax. They don't pressure them, and look on the amount of things that the Andrew Holness administration has achieved under this government. I have seen the road work going on. Sometimes it really keeps me up on the road, but I don't have a problem.
All right, Bobby, thank you.
All right, Bobby, thank
Before
you.
we go to the next call, that is something I kept forgetting to bring up. I have noted over the last few weeks that the conditions of the roads have improved drastically.
Yes.
I have to give the credit where the credit is due. I can't speak to the entire wide breadth of Jamaica, but in the corporate area, I have seen where the patching and the road rehabilitation is working. And I have to commend that.
Even in the rural areas, as I said, my mom is in Westmoreland, and I was having a conversation with her just last week, and we're talking about a number of areas that needs to be addressed. And, she indicated to me that, yes, the patching work has been done. We're seeing where most of those potholes that it was a nuisance, so to speak. She indicated that it's patched. So at least we have to give commendation where it's due.
Precisely. Cleveland, good evening again. How are you doing?
Good evening.
Cleveland, how you doing?
Not bad, sir. Sanjay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good know that saying it, and people is really noticing that there's a difference now with the road patching and road and Spike. Huh? Our Spike start.
Spark.
Spark start already?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Spark and Reach.
Okay. But at least, and that's good that people will say it, because oftentimes I wonder, people will be complaining, and when they do some fixing, nobody come back and say nothing. They don't bother tell us that, well, yes, I was complaining about there's no water and what have you, and now we have water. You don't hear people come on and say these things.
But you know how it goes, Cleveland. You're more likely to leave a bad comment from a bad situation than you are to leave a good comment from a good. Yeah, that's human nature.
It's just, yeah.
But if these things happen, they must say it. Must say it. But let me say,
it need people like you, Cleveland, the foot soldiers, for your party to go out and spread the word.
I know. Let me say condolence to Cara and the death of her sister. I wish her all the best. That she stays strong. Okay.
Thank you for that, Cleveland.
Thank you.
The man in the street thing. What you call that program again?
Which program?
The one that come on after the 6 o'clock news, where they read the different things of the people and what they were saying about.
Oh, public opinion.
Oh,
yes, public opinion. I noticed that the question asked both party turning the whole thing into politics. The SSJ.
SSL
problem. But look how long the PMP been going around the whole of the Highland talking about it and give the people the impression that the JLP is the one who's to blame for the boat loses money. I see. So I don't think we should blame the two of them to turn it into politics. Right? And I wonder if Mr. Golden and his group never realized that. Eventually people can say, well, the case have been tried already in the public sphere. You know?
I understand the DPP's concern.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think in this case, the person at the one person solely charged so far has been in police custody going on now more than 2 years, and they've yet to have their proper trial date set. And I think that happens too often in Jamaica when we have these very high-profile matters, lengthy times between when the person's arrested and when they're properly tried for the crime. And I think that is the root of the problem. You give the public time to speculate, time to run with theories and other ideas, and worse in the case of Mr. Bolt and that unfortunate situation with SSL, someone so high profile, someone who is so loved and known by Jamaica, it will spark a lot of public concern. And I think we really do. I understand the wheels of justice have to turn as they turn, and due process is of course important, but we still have to bear in mind that we still need to have a timeliness that still is very lacking in our justice system.
But those type of things never try too fast, you know. Sometimes that take years.
And I think that is a problem.
Those type of cases take years because then they have to make sure they have everything.
All their ducks in a row. I understand it, and the case can only go as fast as it can go. But I still think the time it takes is going to invite public speculation.
I see. And I noticed that Mr. Query win a big case, man.
Yes.
Oh boy. But you know.
Anyways, Cleveland, we want to take a few more callers, but thank you as always.
Okay, we're putting another break, listeners. We come back with your calls.
The national budget is everybody's business because it impacts every Jamaican. The time brought to you by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service is...
It's 7:46. Big man Carl, what's up?
Good evening, Shabba. Good evening. What you do?
Doing all right.
How are you, Carl?
I'm giving thanks. What a nice day in Jamaica. Pantan gone home. What a lovely day. Pantan gone home. But the thing about it, Cavan and Kevin and Christy left. But after I meet Kip tomorrow, Christy must be fit to say will be still holding that position, man, that one. I think Christy must get a kitchen job and Cavan must be outside sweeping the yard. That's what I will say about that. But after I meet Kip tomorrow, then two of them can go with Christy, with Banton also. I think they should have, if they need have anything left about them, they should have gone today with him to pack them bag and go. Anyhow, Monday morning I heard the Minister of Finance. And one of the problems with my party is that when we get the opportunity, we left everything on the foot soldiers them finish sell the party. Mrs. Williams get a big opportunity Monday morning. She said we used to appear 35 cents out of every dollar. And now we come down to 14. And what Mrs. Williams left off was to say the leadership of the Jamaica Labour Party make the debt come down, as we are only paying 14 cents out of every dollar. That's why we free up so much money to be doing so much things inside the country. When time the head, like the member of parliament and the ministers, them go up on a platform like a radio program, them have to sell the thing. Because even sometimes when we are trying to sell it out here, people won't believe it. But if the Minister of Finance get that opportunity, she must sell the things to the uncommitted voters so that they can listen and understand. That I just heard you say like a while. I is a person who travel around the place. Seems like we're going to run out a road to fix.
I don't know if we reach that point, you can't.
Exactly. No, man, they're pretty close.
No, sir.
When me go anywhere upon a Saturday, me see road a fix. Me see it all a fix all on Sunday now. Me see that. And anybody can dispute that. And I heard a gentleman tell Mr. Hughes today also that this government must remain in the office. And him not live in Jamaica. And I endorse what him have said. I endorse it. You can't have an opposition where no say, see Prime Minister ever come out last week and tell we say, the budget we read come next 2 to 2.5 weeks from now. There will be no new tax. And Dayton Campbell tell we say, if them should reach back in the office, them a change that policy. But one thing when me I left with the Jamaica.
When did Dr. Campbell say that, Carl?
Him say I got tax. Him say I put on a tax.
Yes, Carl.
On food item.
But he later retracted that.
He later retracted the statement.
Hold on, the chef. If you put on tax on food item, it go across the board. We are not done.
But remember though, Carl, he on this very program, he indicated that he was misunderstood and he retracted the statement.
That was like when you're the country and you also make a gig. And if you know a country gig and all we go out after we come from school and show who have a better gig and we lick it down and see some of the boy gig it boss it. That was what Dave Campbell was trying to do, spin. But one thing we have to live with the Jamaica people. Anyhow PMP should have come back in the office. You know, better go out all I know savings out of bank. I same thing what happened in the 90s, it a come back. And I am glad, I am so happy. I am so happy that the Gleaner get a lick this evening.
And no, Carl, don't come on here and celebrate the demise or the supposed demise of a news entity. No, Carl. No, Carl.
I'm going to say something to you before I leave. That's the reason why a lot of persons did want the lifting to kind of jump out and call people names. That's what the Gleaner did. And if that ever get lifted, that's what I think I tell you. I respect Julian Robinson. I don't know why you just step up and take the party more than have a white man lead it. That's what he must do. Step up to the fold and make this white man go catch him banana boat.
All right, Carl. Have a good evening. Errol, how you doing?
Well, I'm in there, Sean. Siobhan.
Please turn off your radio or TV, whatever is in the background there, Errol, alright?
Yeah. Off now.
Yes, go ahead.
Me just hear Carl, I thought you were the Gleaner. That's why they know for bias and dip on a one-side, chef. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
The most bias and dip on a one side because couple months, them just depend the JLP side, everything the JLP side do, the glean and fly with it a hard jar. I just it cost them.
I don't know if I share that opinion with you, Errol, because I've seen that judgment regarding the query matter, and I can see where the Gleaner erred and why it erred based on the judgment, and I believe it's something that could have happened to another media house in the moment.
No, but none of media house now behave like the Gleaner and them bias thing.
I don't believe that the Gleaner is biased. I don't see that. I don't see how that plays out in their reportage.
Chevron, every little thing the JLP do, they run with it, you know, Chevron. Remember that, you know. Everything, them headed to the JLP.
I don't know if I can dissuade you of that opinion, but I don't share it.
You don't share it?
I don't share that opinion. For example, I know how people like to portray nationwide news. I work here and I see the reporting done. I see how it is done. And I don't believe it would be any different in a newsroom over in the Gleaner. And I don't see where the bias that people believe is played out in journalism plays out in the newsrooms.
All right, next thing. One more.
Yeah, Errol, go ahead.
Yeah. Last week Sunday, me say Marty G keep on meeting up in a Stone Hill. Cause I was watching the TV. What are we at there in camera just keep quiet? Chevron.
What's up?
The man just come down calm, Sunday man, you know, the pan in tool, Marky G, the same, I walk one, or you just come down so quiet and so.
You're going to have to ask Dr. Campbell that question.
Exactly.
I don't know how to answer that.
and Marky G. But Chevron, them have big problem in the camp, man. You know, so the council about it out and they not keeping quiet.
It's not unnatural though, you know, for political parties to have internal issues. It's natural when you're dealing with individuals of varying backgrounds.
Yeah. Big problem the man say, I might tell Marky G if we get rid of, but they not touch him.
So, party now watch them dirty in the public domain.
Must steal right, you know.
I hear you.
All right.
All right, Errol, thank you.
You know, I see people saying that the way, if NNN was in a similar position, people over the Gleaner would be rejoicing. I don't know if that's the case. And even then, that would not be my approach to journalism. When it comes to, I believe this is supposed to be a fraternity. I feel, unfortunately, we have fallen short of that fraternal nature of what journalism used to be. But I think we should go back to there, and I strive to go back to there. So I don't celebrate when a news entity slips up, whether it's Nationwide, Gleaner, RG, or Observer, any other. I just want us to be at a standard where it is the celebrated profession that it used to be. That is it.
Yeah, we should never, just in general, celebrate the demise of someone else or an entity. You know, it's a general principle that I take in my life also. Not celebrating the demise of anyone.
Anyways, Michael, you're on the line.
Good night, sir. Good night to the panel. Good night to the gentlemen. You know what I mean?
Good night, Michael.
Evening, sir.
Yes, here's my little input now. I see Mr. Bunton is going around talking about security. Security. That man is the last man supposed to come and talk about security. Why? Mr. Bunton was balling for Jesus to help him. Couldn't manage it. You know what I mean? And in my 50s. And right now, the country is moving in the right direction. PNP now must come up and say nothing. If PNP get this chance to run this country again, it's gonna into bankruptcy. It's gonna wreck. It's gonna come in like the Titanic. Trust me. So
you have to just stop in eyes and anything the government doing that is progressive for the country. These men just come in and just talk rubbish. You know what I mean?
I hear you, Michael, but you have to remember, the purpose of a political party is to try and win power, and they're going to make that attempt and try to give their best argument to the Jamaican people why they should be given that opportunity. It will be up to people like you to decide whether they should get that opportunity or not.
They can't fool no one. In the PMP time, the country was in debt. We couldn't fix hospital. We couldn't give no police no new station. We couldn't give police no new vehicle. We couldn't fix the road under the PMP. FinSat, mad people. People lose their houses. People lose their business. Man, if I tell you, man, I could write a book about PMP. PMP sell JPS. PMP sell out Norman Madley Airport. PMP mash up free zone. And ahead. So they are the last person to come and say something. Man, PMP is a destruction to this country. They mash up this country to wreck. And they want to come and wreck it again. No way, man. People are not stupid, man.
All right, Michael.
All right.
Very strong opinion there, but unfortunately we're out of time, listeners and viewers. Those on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Iron Lady, Kevin, Lamar Virgo, Gertrude Brown, Denzel M, Electro, Cedric Coombs, Rich Richards, Owen Morris, Clash Clam, John Black, all of you, thank you for joining us. Props to our super producer Dana Davey, our technical operator Andrew the Glen, Boogs Anderson, Kimon, who leads the newsroom as Cara is out, and our condolences to Cara, rather, I should say, for the death of her sister. I hope all is well with her, and we look forward to her return in the newsroom. All of you, thank you for joining us. This has been Nationwide at 5. I'm Siobhan Campbell.
And don't forget Margot Weber. She's our teacher, the leader of the class, I would say. My name is Sanjay.
I should be sanctioned for forgetting Marigold of all the people. And Jacqueline Thomas, Marigold, thank you for joining us again.
You. My name is Sanjay Lewis, wishing for you a wonderful evening.
Since 1995, we've been your